Call or text the Morning Rush on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bentonville, a good deal is never too far away.
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
Hey, welcome in to a Too Stupid Thursday edition of the Morning Rush. Tell you what's not stupid is salted caramel coffee, which I'm sipping on this morning, as we have a lot to look forward to, not just tonight, not just today, but this entire weekend filled with Sweet 16, Elite 8 action, Arkansas baseball, welcoming in the LSU Tigers as the number 1 team in the country. You heard Dave there, get asked about it. Didn't have much to say. Apparently, he's not really talking with the team about it, according to not just the press conference yesterday, but one of the other press conferences when he was asked about it. LSU has gotten the better of you, not lately, but over the course of their matchup since you joined the SEC, even with Dave Van Horn as the skipper. And this is a team, while they've started 2-4 in SEC play, is always dangerous. They've got some guys like Tommy White and Travinsky. They've got a pitcher in Luke Holman that stacks up similar to Hagen Smith. He's that good. He's a stud. So this is going to be an intense weekend regardless of what their conference record says. Do not sleep on LSU, or you're not going to walk away with the series victory against the Tigers.
All right, that's where we begin tomorrow. We'll do our Fence Man Friday picks for the weekend as well. We'll have a few games under our belt, maybe to pick a series and pick the Sweet 16's second set of games. Hey, we're brought to you by the Fence Man, and we'll do those Fence Man Friday picks tomorrow. If you need more security or more curb appeal or a great-looking fence around your home or business, the Fence Man can do that. We've had some early spring storms recently, and if a storm has taken down a section or part of your fence, or it's not looking right, it's leaning the wrong way, the Fence Man can help you fix all of those problems as well. So from minor repairs to complete installation of commercial and residential fences, the Fence Man's the one we call. We hope you call him as well. 782-3936, 479-782-3936. The old Fence Man, he ain't afraid of no work.
So you heard from Dave there. We're going to hear more from him this morning. Going to hear from Chuck Barrett in about 30 minutes from now. Some college basketball news on the hirings of different coaches in the league. Not yours. Eric Musselman still retaining his status here as the Arkansas head basketball coach.
I think he would have led with that if there was news there.
Yes. NIL stories, which I found interesting. Caitlyn Clark has been offered upwards of $15 million to compete in a couple things, which is crazy. I want to get into some of that. And close to home, Arkansas is launching this new initiative, the Drive to 5, which we will discuss later on. What they're trying to do with Arkansas Edge. And I actually looked up some members. Some had them listed in the SEC, the number of members, and then some didn't. You'd be surprised at the comparison. So we'll get into all that this morning, again, on a Too Stupid Thursday. As we start on a Too Stupid Thursday, I would like to mention this story that a dad was reportedly or repeatedly kept calling his school to gripe about how much homework his kids had. He's in Ohio.
I feel his pain.
And he ended up landing in detention, a.k.a. jail, for continuing to do that. Adam Sizemore, 37 years old, has been charged with telecommunications harassments and menacing after phoning the child's school several times, warning the principal at one point that he better put his big boy pants on, leading the school official to fear violence.
He obviously was helping his son, or because he wouldn't care. Because my dad used to help me, and we would be stressed to the max trying to do my homework when I was younger.
Oh, I hate that
specifically stuff. Math. Yeah.
Math's the worst.
Math that we always discuss. 18 times he called up to the school is what was.
Well, that's probably what led to the charge.
Said in the story.
Yeah.
It used to be the opposite. And I hope, and maybe I'm wrong, but I hope when I'm a father that I'm defending the teacher. And you can't, in every case is different. But if my kid comes to complain at me at some point, I'm going to talk to the teacher, and I'm probably going to side with the teacher or the administration. Now, again, there's different cases out there that I will not be siding with, but if it's just too much homework, I'm probably going to side with the school.
You need to tell your kid to get his big boy pants on.
Apparently,
my children do not like when I go to parent-teacher conferences because I can't recall a time I've been on my kid's side. I'm not a blame the teacher parent.
No.
My dad was, I assure you, not a blame the teacher parent.
None of our listeners' parents were blame the teacher parents, and it's shifted seismically.
Oh.
And I don't understand why.
I feel bad for teachers.
Back
these
when
days.
we could get paddlings, my parents would support the decision. Like,
and then you get one at home. Yeah.
I never got paddled in school. I got paddled at the house. That never made its way to Terry Elementary or Little Rock Christian. I think Catholic, my buddies at Catholic got paddled, if I remember that right.
I bet so.
But I don't think it ever the paddle made it past the house, which it happened. Trust me, I remember my dad had the thing. It literally was a brown spanker. He bought it specifically. And then you've mentioned a spoon and stuff.
No.
There were,
I'd have begged for a spoon.
What'd you get?
Oh, 2x4.
Oh, that is unpleasant. No, that brings us back to good memories. But that like I said, that father has been in detention.
Maybe
and
start counseling again.
yeah, thinking of
Get my therapist on the phone.
listen, it's good for you. It builds
Yeah.
character. That's what everything
Yeah.
does. But that is where we start here on a Too Stupid Thursday edition of
I
the
bet that
Morning
didn't
Rush.
help his grades any.
I don't
So-
think so. I don't think so.
And I tell you, it's like Big C was saying. The dad was upset because he couldn't help with the homework. Can you imagine Big C about, I don't know, 15 years from now when Ty's got a little one that's in the third grade and he's trying to help with third grade math?
What's the math?
I can see him
Oh,
getting
my.
frustrated.
Yeah. I mean, just simple long division.
And then you fight with your son because he's not getting it and you're not getting it.
What would you rather have Ty help your kid with? Math or English?
Math.
Math. I don't know.
Really, if you listen to this show at all,
one times one.
you're screaming.
Most
math.
people that are good at
Anything
math
but
are
English.
bad at English.
I think my ACT, the highest score was math. I believe that's
I've
correct.
noticed that. Like, if you're good in
Mine
English,
was not.
you're not great in math. If you're great in math, you're not good in English.
Hmm.
A lot of smart kids are like that.
Troy in Charleston recounts the time where he was spanked. He said, "My mother used our toys against us, a Hot Wheels track."
Ooh.
The black track back in the day.
I know. You
Troy,
snap them sections together.
Yeah, those
switches.
Those could be painful. Those could be painful. Hopefully, it's not a painful series in Baum Walker Stadium this week. It has been prior years. Lately, Arkansas has had success. You have not lost to the Tigers, I think, since 2017 is what the game notes said. But 27-44 overall against LSU, 14-16 in Baum Walker. So you don't have a winning record at home under Dave Van Horn.
It's because LSU's been really good for a long, long time. So, hey, it's a great time for fishing. Check out the Tackle Box in Fort Smith for all your hunting and fishing supplies. They've got a new fly tying shop that's inside the store. So, if you like our buddy Clay and you need anything and everything for fly fishing, including materials to tie your own flies, like jig tying supplies for crappie fishing and a large selection of anything when it comes to fly fishing, they're going to have it for you at the Tackle Box. Find things you can't find anywhere else. Check out their new website, tackleboxoutdoors.com. That's tackleboxoutdoors.com. And don't forget, April 5th, they're going to have a fish fry to benefit CASA of Sebastian County. Come and talk with Catfish's world-renowned expert, Danny King. He's a member of the Catfish Hall of Fame. He's going to be there. It's at the Tackle Box, 3100 0 Street in Fort Smith. And again, tackleboxoutdoors.com. This weekend, Arkansas Derby also going on. We've mentioned a ton of things. Arkansas LSU, Sweet 16. The Arkansas Derby is at Oaklawn. Download the Oaklawn Anywhere app to your phone so you can watch and wager if you're at the LSU game or you're going to be at the track. You don't want to stand in the line to get your bets down. The Oaklawn Anywhere app makes it easy. Anywhere from your phone, tablet, or computer, you can watch and wager on those great races, including the Derby. Use the promo code RUSH24 for $150 sign-up bonus.
Just say, Alexa, play ESPN Arkansas.
ESPN Arkansas from TuneIn.
This is Tim Brando, and you're listening to the Morning Rush.
Spring camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party April 13th and 14th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers behind Newt. Sponsored by two of the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV and Moix RV, with brands you love like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago. On-site financing available, plus food trucks, a variety of vendors, and downtowns for the kids. Make plans to attend the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party April 13th and 14th, 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway, Rogers.
This is the Morning Rush.
0.9% financing on a new 23 or 24 GMC Sierra at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Save up to $6,500 off with factory rebates on a new GMC Sierra truck, or take $3,750 off with 0.9% financing or 2.9% financing for up to 72 months on Sierra 1500. 6.2-liter engine excluded. Conquer with confidence in a new GMC Sierra from Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Why do people love Shamrock Liquor Warehouse? Simple. They've got it all. 70 years in business, 15,000 square feet of choices. They buy in volume so you can save. What else? How about the largest selection of everything? Shamrock's got it. Special orders? Shamrock's got it. Convenient drive-through, open 6 days a week? Shamrock's got it. Need a keg for your party? Shamrock's got it. Load up at Shamrock Liquor Warehouse at the corner of Midland and Riverfront Drive in Fort Smith.
The Links at Chaffee Crossing prides itself in providing award-winning barbecue. Whether you're craving ribs, pork, brisket, or chicken, we can satisfy any appetite. Stop in and watch Razorback baseball, and for a limited time, enjoy the smoked Reuben sandwich, along with $2 domestics and $3 premium beer. Fill out a bracket while you're there and win prizes from the Links. The Links at Chaffee Crossing is ready to serve you the best barbecue in the River Valley. The Links at Chaffee Crossing, next to Deer Trails Golf Course. Come see us.
After I drop the kids off, I have to run across town for a meeting, hit the gym during lunch. Jake has soccer tonight, and Emily has gymnastics. Oh, did I turn on the crock pot this morning?
With a never-ending to-do list, it's easy to forget something important, like setting up a life insurance plan with Shelter Insurance. Your local Shelter agent can show you how to create a safety net for your family. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
Call your local Shelter agent, Chris Dooley, at 479-646-6792.
Lack of teamwork, failure of communication, overall disappointment. I'm not talking about your favorite basketball team's performance in March. I'm talking about your marriage. If you're getting divorced, don't listen to the myths about custody and child support. Call me, Jackie Mock, at Mock Legal Solutions to discuss your rights and options. 479-769-1505. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price.
Are you looking for a change of scenery? Lavorne Lumber is looking to hire a Class A CDL flatbed driver for a regional position. Lavorne Lumber is highly competitive in pay. Lavorne Lumber is a family-owned lumber and trucking company. Home most nights and every single weekend. Guaranteed. Lavorne Lumber has top-of-the-line equipment. If you're interested in the job, stop by Lavorne Lumber at 515 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith, Monday through Friday from 9 to 4.
When I need a place to stay in Northwest Arkansas, I always choose the Inn at the Mill. It's centrally located in the heart of NWA at the Johnson exit off I-49 and is the most unique choice of hotels in the region. Whether you're in town for the game, a concert at the Amp, business travel, or just a weekend away, the Inn at the Mill has a spacious, clean room ready for you. Reserve your stay at the Inn at the Mill, 479-443-1800, or visit innatthemill.com. The Inn at the Mill, where the past meets the present.
It's time to vote for your favorite high school player of the week. ESPN Arkansas and Shamrock Roofing and Construction are recognizing the most outstanding high school student athletes. Visit hitthatline.com each week to vote for your favorite athlete of the week. The high school player of the week is brought to you by Shamrock Roofing and Construction. No one can install a better roof at a better price with a better warranty than Shamrock. Visit them at shamrockroofer.com. Visit the nominees each week at hitthatline.com. Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Tommy Tychuk, thank you guys for your support, and go Hogs.
That's shot towards first base. Diving play by McLaughlin. Throws it to McIntyre. Covering. Got him. Hitting over. What a play.
Do you want to watch the Morning Rush, Halftime, Even, Ruskin, and Zach? Find our live video stream on Facebook, YouTube, X, Instagram, and Twitch. ESPN Arkansas. More than just radio.
You heard Hunter Yurchek's voice there. And he, along with Arkansas, Razorbacks.com, and several other outlets, putting out this Drive for 5 initiative with Arkansas's NIL Collective Arkansas Edge. And I've had some people ask me questions about it. I'm going to do my best to answer. We might get Chris Brower on this week, who's the executive director, but we'll address that coming up in just a sec.
Hey, brought to you by APAC Arcola. They have immediate job openings in Northwest and North Central Arkansas. We're talking Washington and Benton County areas. Also, if you're in Harrison, Mountain Home, Yellville, Boone, Marion, Baxter counties, they have jobs in those areas as well. Under a couple different companies. Marion County Paving is one division or part of APAC Central. Of course, Arcola, and you'll find different opportunities. Here's what you should do. Go to jobs.crh.com. If what I'm saying interests you, you'll find an interactive map, and it'll show you the jobs that are there. Things like CDL licensed drivers. They're looking for that for drive their cement trucks you see moving around town. Heavy equipment operators for a variety of positions, including in their quarries. Concrete finishers, diesel mechanics, electricians. There's a lot more opportunities that I can list right now. Top pay, great benefits, sign-on bonus. They've got retirement insurance and profit sharing. Again, that web address where you can apply online and see all the opportunities, jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola is an equal opportunity employer.
Couple texts here on the McLarty Daniel hotline back to our last conversation about what you used to get spanked with. Dennis Springdale said we had an ornamental, how do you say that, Tommy? Ornamental brush out front that produced the perfect switch, stripped the leaves. I don't know if he meant to text that. And it was even 2 degree. You didn't want it hitting bare skin. That was Dennis in Springdale. JT in Hot Springs says his mom is a retired teacher. He would get sent to her classroom with the note, get in trouble for interrupting her mom's class, then get told to coach, then get home to dad. So he would get 4 punishments for one minor incident, and it wasn't worth it for JT.
You have to behave. Control your mouth.
Evidently so. I don't know if JT adhered to doing that or not.
How did you get in trouble for talking too much in class? I did. I just was asking if you did.
Occasionally, I know this is hard for some of you to believe, but I really wasn't a bad kid. I was a good kid.
If you talk a lot in class, you're not a bad kid.
I made good grades. I didn't do anything illegal until I turned 18 after college. So
Day one.
Day one, legitimately, after I graduated. So I was a good kid in high school, believe it or not. Now, BG and Rogers comes in hot this morning on the McLarty Daniel hotline and says, fire Hunter Yurachek. I know Hunter Yurachek's probably gotten more pushback here in Fayetteville than he's received since arriving on campus at Arkansas. There are questions about this Arkansas Edge initiative. There's questions about Sam Pittman. There's questions about the future of your basketball program. Some may be valid, some may not be. But he has to answer those said questions with either actions or results. We'll see what the football team does this season. This Drive for 5 initiative. Have you read much? I mean, I've
read the email. Okay. I don't know that everyone in the audience has read the email. Okay. They probably heard Derek and Zach talking about it.
So skimming over, it's in trying to increase the Arkansas Edge to 5,000, the collective to 5,000 members. You're going to have prizes and rewards for new members, exclusive giveaways, VIP experiences, discounts, signed memorabilia, ECT, etc.
It's like going to Chuck E. Cheese.
Yes.
The more tickets you gain by playing the most skee ball or the most whack-a-mole, and you take all your tickets up there, you can choose a prize from the higher shelf. So the more you're going to give the collective, you're going to get something more than a pencil eraser at the Chuck E. Cheese rewards counter.
Yeah.
Now, you're going to spend a lot of money to get a little bit back, but that's pretty much the essence of what's going on here. Now, in the release, the Drive for 5, it's got a nice ring to it. Notice anything missing out of there? That stood out to me, at least.
The cost?
No, well, I mean, they'll explain that at their website, I'm sure. Where are we at now? This isn't new, this NIL collective. We had a release right at the close of football season about, this crowdsourcing that they were going to introduce. That was just 3 or 4 months ago. How many members have you been able to generate since December when you launched this kind of campaign? The Drive for 5. Clearly, you haven't gotten 5,000 of your fans and Razorbacks and Arkansans to sign up. So are we at 500? Are we at 1,500? I'm going to guess the number's pretty low because they didn't print it in there. Or did they get their first, because they said the eventual goal is to get to 10,000. Well, how many have you been able to generate in the first 120 days of this campaign?
Yeah, and I know Derek and Zach like to make fun of that they don't have more than 4,000 followers on Twitter. Some of those Twitter followers don't contribute. Some of those people that do contribute don't have Twitter or X. You can take that where you will. I did look up. So the Tennessee Volunteers, as of this morning, have a little less than 4,000, over 3,900, and then Ole Miss had over 6,000 in their collective in February. Those are the ones.
What did both of those schools do last year that Arkansas didn't?
Ole Miss had a 10-plus win season, and Tennessee was right around there.
They both had great football seasons. Arkansas didn't. That helps. Tennessee obviously has had a great basketball season. Ole Miss, a little better than Arkansas, but so. I mean, now, the timing of what Hunter Yurachek and his team are trying to do is great because you're getting ready to go into a time where winning ought to be, pretty routine with this baseball season. Is that going to be enough to lift the spirits of people here in an economy where inflation's slowing down, but things are still expensive compared to where they were just a year or two ago?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have 5,000 people out there that are willing to give you $50 a month? They're willing to give you $500 a year or whatever it is?
My thoughts on this that I've seen from Razorback fans when it comes to the gifts that they receive is no one wants to wear Arkansas Edge stuff.
No.
They want to wear Razorback stuff, but you can't do that because it's a collective and it's right. Like that's the rule on that. Like you can't.
Oh, I think they want. I don't know what the rule is necessarily because the university owns its brand. They can do what they want with it. So tell me, I don't think there's a rule within the NCAA that would prohibit that.
Okay.
If there is, I'm just uninformed.
Yeah.
I'll accept being corrected on that. But who owns the trademark? You're wearing a sweatshirt right now with a Razorback and the big A. Who owns that?
The Razorbacks.
Well, I mean, the fans should say they own, but it's the university that has control of that licensing, and so why couldn't they license Edge to give those things away?
And that's what they need to. That's the first change they
because they want to build a brand for Edge. No one cares about that brand. Your point's exactly right, but I don't think there's a rule or a law. I think the stroke of a pen from Hunter Yurachek could clear that hurdle.
Yes, well, that needs to change. If that's legal, that needs to change.
Well, if there's a rule out there, I'm unaware of why that could happen because I think Hunter Yurachek can make that decision, or someone on that level could make that decision. Hey, this weekend's going to be busy in Fayetteville. I know it's Easter weekend as well. If you're planning a trip to Northwest Arkansas for a baseball weekend, or you're even thinking about the home games for football, the Inn at the Mill is one place you should think about staying, and go ahead and get your reservations for that weekend you got circled. 479-443-1800 is their number. Ty and I love staying at the Inn at the Mill, big oversized suites, a convenient location at the Johnson exit. That's exit 69, close to everything we love to do in Northwest Arkansas. Go to innatthemill.com or call their great staff, 479-443-1800 for the Inn at the Mill.
All right, when we return here, Chuck Barrett joins us on the other side.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
I love listening to y'all. You're a really intelligent group of sports broadcasters.
You're listening to The Morning Run.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sakhalin.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
The tournament is here. BetOnline is your bracket headquarters for this season with the best bracket contests out there and odds, lines, and info on every game and every round right up to the national championship. You can access the most up-to-the-minute wagering information anytime from your desktop or your mobile device and even track your bracket real-time all the way through the tournament. Head to BetOnline today and get in on all the action. Remember to use the promo code BELIEVE for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insights and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Are you in need of a good power washing? Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash is a full-service pressure washing corporation with over 15 years of experience in the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas. Cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more. We remove dirt, grime, and more to give you that sparkle you desire. Call me at 479-763-5561. We're open Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash, one call, cleans it all.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor A from Woodland. Read about it.
Shamrock Roofing and Construction. No one can install a better roof at a better price with a better warranty than Shamrock. Visit them at shamrockroofer.com. Visit the nominees each week at hitthatline.com. Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. You're listening to The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Go down there and do your thing, Tommy. We know you're the man. Get it done.
Get it done,
I'm sure they'll welcome me right
fault.
in.
That guy blew that call, and it was Tommy's. He was so bad, Tommy's fault.
That was a great call.
Sounds like my house.
Yeah, that was a great call.
Sounds like the dinner table discussion on most nights.
It's like the kiddos mess something up, and somehow it's my fault. I'm really looking forward to that in the future. Smack Daddy was trying to, when you mentioned that I was going to have a third grader in 10 years, 15 years?
15 years, yeah. So
what does that put me at?
Third grade would put you at about 8 or 9 years old. So
I'm 44.
Yeah.
With the third
I'll
grader.
take the over. I mean, I'm kind of just setting the over-under at 15 years.
You just said
there's no track record right now.
You just said yesterday you thought I'd get a girl pregnant and then see my parents more, which would be
I think I said that's their fear.
Okay. Well,
that you would bring shame to the family.
Upon our family. Good thing we're in the 6 o'clock hour. As Chuck has said, it's going to joyfully and not willfully, joyfully join us coming up in just a sec.
Hey, we're brought to you by our friends over at Kohler and Green Insurance. They have a new location they have moved into. They are now at 6707 Phoenix Avenue. Kohler and Green, and that's in Fort Smith. They insure your home, auto, business, life, and they can list all your toys, boats, motorcycles, RVs. They even got probably special insurance for you, Ty, that if you break a window on the golf course, they could probably get you covered.
I had a
on that
house
as well.
last Monday.
Kohler and Green, I am not surprised. Kohler and Green Insurance, taking care of families and businesses like yours. Go by and see them again in their new location, 6707 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith. It's right next to the Dollar General. And they're also in Van Buren, and same location they have been at North Plaza, 615 North Plaza Drive in Van Buren. Kohler and Green Insurance here for you.
So as it is a Too Stupid Thursday, a stupid question for Chuck as we welcome him in this morning. Chuck, if I hit a house and they're not home and it doesn't do any damage, do you do anything? Do
Never
you
happened.
Okay, never happened.
Never happened.
Never happened.
Yeah.
I think that's
it's like if a tree falls in the woods,
Mm-hmm.
nobody's there to hear it. Did it really fall?
Yeah. No, you go the other way. That's why you never put your name on your golf ball. You know, some of these people will call and order golf balls with their name on it. So don't put your name on your golf ball, because if it's inside their home and the window is broken, then they have the evidence.
To me, that's like when your mom used to put your name on your boxers or your clothes and stuff. I feel like that's very childlike to do that. Maybe I'll have a different opinion when I actually have money that I can invest on golf balls with my name on.
Well, those aren't investments, Ty.
They're just stupid purchases, I guess. Chuck, it's not again. It's a Too Stupid Thursday. I don't think we'll see anything stupid this weekend.
Surely not.
Yeah, hopefully not. In Bob Walker Stadium, maybe we'll gripe it an up here and there, but you've got some great.
Sure, no one's going to be hollering blue. By about 6:15 tonight, are they?
I did see someone tagged me, and it's like, you need to show this to Tommy, some of the officiating last night between the 76ers and the Clippers. We'll maybe get to that later. But, Chuck, this is an incredible pitching duel. I know we don't get to see Smith and Holman. Holman's going tomorrow night while Smith's going tonight, but LSU leads the team, or leads the SEC in strikeouts, and they got some dudes that are going to be throwing from the mound starting at 6 o'clock tonight.
They do. They're good. Arkansas is good, and it ought to be a great series. It's interesting the way LSU is. Jay Johnson's going to manage the series. He's pitching off tonight, almost like it's a regional.
Yeah.
He's wanting to win this series. They're 2-4. Yes, they've got a lot of talent, but the bottom line is they're 2-4. And they've still got a tough road, as Tommy was outlining a few days ago. They've still got a tough road after they leave here. They're trying to win the series, and I'm certain he feels like that throwing his best guy on Saturday night, or I guess it'll be Friday night now against Molina, is going to give them the best chance to win a ball game Saturday night or Friday night, and then they try to outslug them on Saturday. I understand his strategy. I don't think it's unsound, but I guess we'll see if it works.
And it's also is it a little bit of a tip of the cap to how good Hagen Smith is?
Well, yeah, certainly it is. Arkansas's done this a time or two over the years, and other teams do too. You're facing a guy on Friday night that, is just almost unbeatable. And, the last thing in the world you want your team to have is your best pitcher lose 1-0, throw 8 or 9 innings and lose 1-0. Then what are you going to do the next day? And so I understand why he's doing it. Yes, it's a tip of the cap to Hagen. But I'm sure also, too, he feels like his guy can beat Molina on Friday night.
Well, and I'm sure and I don't have a specific example to cite, but I'm sure LSU saw this plenty last year when they had Paul Skeens, and people were trying to maybe run this same strategy. I can't say, well, yeah, this was done in the Mississippi State series. I don't know that, but I'm sure as good as Paul Skeens was, people are starting to make the comparison with Hagen Smith this year and Skeens from last year. And that's a reasonable comparison. So I'm sure LSU was getting a little bit of the other end of this last year.
Well, it's not like LSU's guys chop liver. I mean, his ERA is better than Smith's.
Yeah, 0.78.
It's not like he's lousy. This is about him feeling like that his guy, his best guy, can beat Molina on Friday night, and they can win the series by outslugging him on Saturday. I would say in every year of SEC baseball, this happens at least once somewhere in some series. Yes, I'm sure it did happen with Skeens at LSU last year, and it's happened with other guys over the years. But that's his strategy. Let's split this thing a game apiece and duke it out Sunday afternoon.
So
or Saturday afternoon.
Two things there.
I hate not playing Sunday, by the way.
Really?
Well,
yeah, I think it's terrible.
Even on Easter?
Even on Easter?
Easter might be the exception, but I don't like these Thursday, Friday, Saturday things. Phil and I were talking about this. When I did baseball games, and when people talk to me now about, I used to listen to you broadcast baseball games, I would say half the time they'd say, I used to listen on Sunday afternoons, me and my dad, or Sunday afternoon is baseball listening. That's the baseball listening day on the radio. And I think for our purposes, it'd be nice if they played on Sunday.
It also is opening day today. Failed to mention that in the first 30 minutes.
That's right.
How are you feeling about the Cardinals this year?
Well, cautiously optimistic. I'm hopeful, as I always am on opening day, but they don't have enough pitching. Now they may have enough to, finish upper half in the worst division in baseball, but I'm hopeful. I mean, I'm always hopeful. I got a new cap. I got a new Cardinals cap for the year. So, we'll see if that changes their fortunes.
I saw you drinking out of the Cardinals koozie the other day with your water bottle or whatever.
Yeah.
Me?
And?
No, sorry.
He's looking at me.
I'm looking at Tommy.
Is that some kind of
I didn't know if you
signal
were going to go to a game or anything this year.
I have not taken Dylan or Abigail, my two youngest. I've took my oldest to a Cardinals game. I would like to do. That's one of the things I'd like to do this summer with my kids. A little quick weekend trip to St. Louis, see a game or two. Take them up in the Arch. Do eat on the hill, all the things you like to do in St. Louis. So yeah, I would like to go to a game more for the family experience than, and I've said this before, and I think Chuck's probably talked to a lot of people that feel the same way. My fandom and my time invested in Razorback baseball has almost eliminated my ability or desire to watch Major League Baseball on a daily basis. Now, I think when you get a little older than me and it became more of a life routine for so many years like it was for Chuck and other people I know of the same age, they're still in that habit. But I've gotten so used because I listen to Chuck on the radio do the baseball games. I've gone to a lot of Razorback games. You only got so many hours in the day, days in a week. You only spend so much time watching sports if you have a family. So Razorback baseball takes up a lot of my baseball budget, if you will.
Tommy's the reason the Cardinals aren't any good.
Yep.
Because they go every year. They don't care if they win or not. They just want to take their family.
Right.
They just want to eat.
I want to eat a good
hang
Italian
out,
meal.
go to the Arch. They don't care if they win.
Nope.
That's why they're not any good. It's Tommy's fault.
I'll lump myself in there because I am going to see a Cardinals series at some point this summer. I've got friends that just moved and bought a house not too far from Busch
You
Stadium.
don't even care if they win. You're just going to drink beer and have a good time.
They have beer in St. Louis?
They do have beer.
Oh.
Yeah.
And especially in the outfield seat. So I haven't been to Busch Stadium, Chuck, since I guess it would have been my freshman. It's been 10 years, and I just want to go back. I went to Wrigley, and I'd like to go. I'm going to go to Chicago at some point this summer. I'd like to see that. Again, I don't. Y'all know that I'm not this big, giant baseball fan, but I do have.
I would have never guessed. No,
I do have a great respect though for those two ballparks specifically. And I know it's not the old Busch Stadium, but just the historical significance. One with a lot more championships, of course, than the others. No offense, Big C. We'll see how Cody Bellinger and the guys do this year. But it is just cool. Like, if you're just a casual sports fan, both those parks are awesome venues to, as you said, take your family to or just experience.
Ty, give us your thoughts on the shift and its effect on the game.
Depends on if it.
I was
depends on if it works.
Yeah, it depends on if it works.
I mean, if it works, it's great.
It's great. The coach called a good. I mean, you see.
They call them managers in the big league.
Yeah,
but that's okay.
And when you see the outfielders and stuff look at their wristband or when they pull up that card or whatever for Arkansas. I mean, Arkansas is. You were talking about again the fandom. Arkansas is almost run like a major league organization. Like, you ask any player that's playing professionally in the minors or whatever, the facilities here in Fayetteville are better. And then if you just watch how they go about certain things during the course of a game, it's
money.
It's very.
Well, yeah, I mean that's true for other sports too.
Yeah, it's money.
I mean, Tyler.
Here's the thing about minor league baseball. Here's the thing about here's how it works. They want to turn a profit. I mean, everybody wants to turn a profit. That's hard to do in minor league baseball right now. But in minor league baseball, Ty, your team can be 25 games under 500. But if you develop a couple of big leaguers off that minor league team, it's served its purpose.
Mm-hmm.
You don't care really if you win or lose. You care about developing players. And I can tell you from, early in my broadcast career, and Phil knows this, I went down and did the Travelers games as a fill-in a few times way back in the day, Ray Winder Field. I'm telling you, caves at Devil's Den are nicer than the Travelers' old locker room at Ray Winder Field. And that's the truth. I mean, it was like walking into a cave at Devil's Den. It was unbelievable.
Is that bad?
And that's how
Devil's Den, the cave smelled better.
It was like going spelunking down there at Devil's Den. I mean, it really was. And now it's better now because minor league teams understand now that you can't attract people into old ballparks anymore. You got to have new stuff. Even a place like Wrigley Field, you walk into Wrigley Field now and you walk into Wrigley Field 15 years ago, it's a totally different ballpark. The only thing that's the same is the ivy.
You mentioned making money. The concessions help do with that. Skeeter in Fort Smith points out on the McLarty Daniel hotline that there is a new hot dog in Busch Stadium that has 2 fried eggs and nacho meat on it. How much do you think that runs for? $18?
About $24, $25 bucks.
$25.
Yeah, and Phil was talking about this. I know we're getting away from our topic of Arkansas LSU, but these ballparks are creating these oversized kind of community foods because you don't get the 42-ounce milkshake to eat by yourself. You get it because you've went with eight people in your family or your buddy, and everybody gets a bite. Or you get the $25 hot dog, and everybody, tries a little bit of it. It's become more of a community-type deal. So, but it is expensive anymore. I mean, it's expensive to go to an Arkansas game and go to the concession stand. It's really
when you and your bros go to Wrigley, Ty, it's going to cost you some money to drink beer all day.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just going to tell you.
Will it? No. Well,
it's going to cost you some change.
It's about $18 anymore if you go about anywhere, but you do get the big can in most places.
Okay, good.
But it's still about a $20 bill.
Well, the outfield. You just go to the outfield and get the unlimited package in both places, right?
I went to see the game.
I don't know about that part. I haven't heard the unlimited package in the outfield.
Oh, they've got
he thinks it's free because it's unlimited.
Yeah, it's free, just like the North End Zone. Well, back to Baum Walker Stadium where the beer is free if you bring it in this weekend. Tommy, I know you're going to be at you're excited to go today. We were talking about Luke Holman there. So Luke Holman, for those that don't know, is LSU stud. He's the guy that you won't see tonight. He's not going against Hagen Smith like we were talking about. He's going tomorrow. This was what Dave Van Horn had to say about the Alabama transfer that's now pitching for LSU.
He pitched pretty good against us, and we finally broke loose a little bit, but really kind of focusing on this year from what I've seen and what I've watched, he's just better. He's throwing the ball over the plate. He's got really, really good stuff, good secondary stuff. I mean, I think his batting average against him is amazing. So he's doing everything you're supposed to do as a number one. ERA is under 1, and he just isn't giving up much. So, I don't know if they're going to throw him tomorrow or Friday or Saturday, but when we do face him, it's going to be a handful.
You mentioned this earlier. Again, as good as Hagen Smith's been, Holman's ERA is better. I know that's hard for us to comprehend and understand, but
Hagen's still got that 1 inning though, kind of in the math. But he's been really effective his last 4 or 5 starts or whatever it's been.
Well, the thing that you have to remember now, and we focus way too much on strikeouts, number one, and way too much on individual matchups sometimes. But it's about winning games now. It's about winning games. And you're into conference play, and sure, you'd love for Hagen Smith to have the best ERA in the league. And sure, you'd love for him to have more strikeouts than their guy. And their guy'd love to have more strikeouts than some other team's guy. But it's only about winning games now. That's all it's about.
Yeah, and we mentioned, Dave kind of alluded to yesterday why there's been a shift in the rotation because it's no longer Smith, Tigert, Molina. It's Smith, Molina, Tigert. Here's the reason and rationale for that.
As far as the rotation, we're going to change it up just a little bit. We're going to go Smith, Molina, and Tigert in that order. Just want to give Brady another day to get right. So that's kind of where we're going to do it. All 3 of our starters are experienced older kids that don't get too riled up or too rattled so far anyway. And, I just feel like that they're all going to give us a good start. If one of them doesn't go good, then yeah, that could make a difference if it's early in the series compared to late in the series on who we bring in.
He just talked about getting Brady a little more rest. I know that his pitch count is maybe a little higher than it should be at this point. He's still got good stats. You look at what he's done this year. He's got a 1.59 ERA. He's only given up 15 hits, 330 pitches to this point. But I could see, and I was thinking about this because it's set in stone, Chuck, to me, that Hagen's your Friday night guy or Thursday or Saturday, whenever you start the series. I get that. But I could see them potentially moving this permanently. We're going to see how this weekend goes against LSU. I don't know if it's set in stone that it's just Smith, Tiger, Molina. I think this could be a possibility that we see maybe a change.
Well, why
in the
do you
rotation.
think that? Do you think that, or do you wonder that?
I just thought that with Brady, and again, I just listed out stats. He hasn't necessarily struggled this year.
Have you looked at the walks? Have you? The thing that's the Tiger's not pitched as well.
Yeah.
Now, and he has labored. I think that's what's. But LSU, as we've discussed, has changed their rotation too. I hear what you're saying, but I just think it's a stretch to say I think this may be this way the rest of the year. There's no reason to think that right now. It's logical to wonder, but there's no reason to come to the conclusion yet that you think it's going to be that way. We'll see how it goes this weekend, and we'll move on from there.
Yeah, and you mentioned the walks. I think it's kind of like turnovers in football. I think when you look up at the end of this weekend and you add up which team had the most free passes, via walks and errors and just gave free bases away, that's probably the team that I'd say is going to lose this series. So
you can't walk people. You can't give up extra outs.
You can't give free opportunities. No doubt about it. Hey, springtime's coming, Chuck, and a lot of people think about listing their homes. They need the perfect partner when they're getting ready to buy or sell.
Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, has been my partner multiple occasions. You've heard me talking about him. You've heard me talk about my experience with him. The key to the whole thing was the line of communication. It really was. From the first time to the second time, and as we move forward, the first time particularly, I had no idea what was going on. I needed someone to talk me through that, and anybody who's been through this understands what I'm saying. And then when it comes time to sell, that's when you really want that line of communication to be open. And that was my experience. They kept me apprised of everything that was going on. They got me from contract to close. They listened to me, and that was important to me. And I think it's one of the big reasons that things turned out as well as they did. For me and for the other folks too. So that was my experience, and that's what I can tell you about. And I think that'll be your experience too. Now, they've got offices in Northwest Arkansas. They're in Washington County. They're in Benton County. They're in the Fort Smith area. You hear us talking about their office in Branson. They've got a great selection of homes. You can go online and check it out. You can visit their website at weichergriffin.com.
So not only do we have Arkansas baseball this weekend, we also have the NCAA tournaments. It resumes later on today. One of the things that I think is stupid, I understand why they do it, is they don't spread out these games. And I know that people are at work, and I know that you get more eyes on it if you put them later on at night. But you have it stacked at 6, 6:39, 8:39, and 9:09. You could start these games at lunchtime, go lunch, 3, 6, 9.
Yeah.
And you will still have great viewership of these games, starting with Clemson and Arizona.
When you've paid, $1.6 billion or whatever it is a year, great and good enough.
Well, here's the deal too. I'm going to offer an honest opposite opinion there. They ran those games consecutively over the weekend, and half of them sucked. Yeah. If you've got a blowout game and there's nothing to go to, that's not any good. That's bad programming. That's bad television. That's when you lose eyeballs. That's when people turn away to other things, which I did, because the games weren't any good. You can't play Thursday and Friday and start at noon. You just can't do that.
Sure you can.
And I'm going to tell you,
I can watch all day.
No,
you can take off.
But I will tell you, over the weekend when CBS ran all those games back to back to back, the danger there is in a society that wants immediate gratification, you better have a good game right now or they're gone. And if there's not another game for them to turn to, you might not get them back.
they don't have any control of that.
So I'm
part.
taking the opposite view from you, Ty, which I know is odd, but
I don't know if that's ever happened. Is that a first time thing?
Well, I'm going to, just.
I think your view is short-sighted. How about that?
I think it's selfish and only caring about your corner of the world. I can just tell you, coming back from a vacation last week out west and in the West Coast time zone and the Pacific time zone, or as you say, the Pacific time zone.
Specific.
Specific. Out west.
The game started out there just after 9 a.m. Now, listen,
Gosh,
I don't want to say I had my finger on the pulse of what was going on in Arizona and Nevada, but there wasn't a lot of buzz on the street or people really worried about the NCAA tournament out there.
That's because they're granola out there.
Well,
they don't care about sports.
Hey, the first time you're in.
Where are they having the Final Four?
Phoenix.
Okay, that's that's just where I'm talking about. I'm just saying.
They're not eating a lot of granola.
They're not eating a lot of granola.
No, granola's a term for outdoorsy and hikey and all that crap.
But I'm just
they've
telling
got that in Arizona.
Yeah,
not in southern Arizona.
Right. I mean, but you realize when you start these games at these times at 11 a.m. and you have to because of the number of games, man, you eliminate everything west of the Rockies pretty much. I mean, the first time you spend a Sunday in football season in California, you understand the time change. Yeah.
When that pro football game comes on at 9 o'clock in the morning.
And it's not a rerun. It's real.
I mean, you're watching football in the morning. And the 4 o'clock games at 1 o'clock. I mean, it's a whole different deal.
Hold up. I just want to make sure I'm understanding this right. The two older gentlemen on this program are mad about games starting earlier and ending earlier.
I didn't say I was mad about it. I enjoy it.
You're talking about ratings and the numbers.
Yeah, you were saying that they ought to play them all day long. All I was saying was you can't do that on a Thursday or Friday. Not with the NCAA basketball tournament.
From a business standpoint, it's a killer.
It'd be suicide.
Yeah.
People would leave work and watch games.
Ty, not everybody has the freedom you have to just do what they want. You know,
I do have
some people punch the time clock, and if they're not, they got someone looking over their shoulder every moment of the day. Maybe that's more of what you need.
No, I need the least amount of structure as possible. Well, all right. So
maybe you would perform better with more structure.
No, my performance review is coming up. Mm-hmm. Best game of the day.
Chuck, can you do that for me this year?
Oh, gosh.
Depends on what we're reviewing.
His performance. Air quotes, performance.
My eloquent English, Chuck.
I think Clay gave you a pretty good performance.
Well, you're a noted linguist, number one. I think that would be the first thing I would say.
Noted.
You're a noted linguist, and I heard Ty got after you, or Clay got after you yesterday. What happened?
It was deserved, but I did check into it as he said, and you know what? I was right.
Lucky your
what
head
do you
still.
know?
Yeah, he told Clay he missed stories in his career. I thought, Ty's getting ready to get killed. He's getting ready to get killed.
You may have overstated what I said.
Well,
but
it was along those
that
lines.
happens when it comes to discussing me from time to time.
Hey, Buffalo Wild Wings, the official place for lunchtime, and they can get you saucy again with unbeatable specials. Grab the crew and turn up your weekday lunch at B-Dubs, starting at just $10. Wings, tenders, burgers, and more, all served with fries and a drink. Monday through Friday from 11 to 2. Price participation may vary. Conway, Bryant, Sherwood, North Little Rock, Jonesboro, and in Fort Smith. This is where hunger comes to die at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Hour 2 coming up. What do you think about player props in college sports? Charlie Baker, NCAA president, has an opinion. We'll get his next.
Spring camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party April 13th and 14th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers behind Newt. Sponsored by two of the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV and Moix RV, with brands you love like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago. On-site financing available, plus food trucks, a variety of vendors, and bounce house for the kids. Make plans to attend the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party April 13th and 14th, 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway, Rogers.
Tommy Kraft here for The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building your next fence. The Fence Man recently built new gates for my existing fence. The whole process was easy, quick, and most importantly, affordable. Plus, 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available with The Fence Man. If you need a new fence, gate, or anything that involves a fence, call The Fence Man, 479-782-3936. That's 782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Hello there, homeowner. Roger Scott for Leaf Guard Gutters of Arkansas. Are you tired of dealing with clogged gutters, climbing ladders, and worrying about potential damage to your home? Well, listen up to me now. Leaf Guard of Arkansas's got you covered. Introducing Leaf Guard, the only true one-piece seamless covered gutter system on the market, guaranteed to never, ever clog. With Leaf Guard, you can kiss goodbye to all the hassle of climbing up and cleaning out all that muck and mud and shingle grit. No more hiring someone else to do it, or worse yet, risking serious damage and issues by doing nothing at all. Spring is finally here, which means it's time for Leaf Guard's famous Ugly Gutter event. Leaf Guard will swoop in, take down and haul away all those unsightly gutters at absolutely no charge, and you'll receive an incredible 60% off installation on a whole house Leaf Guard gutter system. But wait, there's more. Ask about the 0% financing options and additional discounts for seniors and military personnel. Do not let ugly gutters ruin your home's curb appeal or cause costly damage. Call 501-664-5400 or visit leafguardandmore.com to schedule your free estimate today. Leaf Guard of Arkansas, protecting your home one seamless gutter at a time.
This is the Morning Rush.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where we have the biggest and best selection of premium pre-owned vehicles we've had in years. Many with low miles and those special features you're looking for, and each one road ready certified with warranty. Be sure to ask about the weekly specials that can save you up to $4,000. Road ready certified used cars and savings up to $4,000. Two more reasons all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One has a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Hey River Valley, this is Jackie Mock with Mock Legal Solutions. Y'all have eclipsed our expectations in supporting our law firm, and we are grateful. You blindly put your trust in us, and we are over the moon to announce our grand reopening. On March 29th from 2 to 6, drop by our office at 3401 South 79th Street. Meet Ruskin and Zach, grab a pair of free eclipse glasses, and check out our expanded space and practice areas. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price.
Like an eclipse.
Have you heard? TGI Fridays is having happy hour Monday through Friday from 3 till 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. to close with half-price drinks and $5 select appetizers, including potato skin, spinach dip, pot stickers, and much more. Plus, you can get in on 50-cent Wing Monday from 5 p.m. to close. And karaoke on Tuesdays and Thursdays starting at 8 p.m. It's all at TGI Fridays, I-540 and Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith.
Spring is just around the corner, and Jelco Outdoors is ready with all of your spring fishing gear. Crappie, bass, catfish, Jelco has a great selection of rods, reels, and baits to help you fill that stringer. Spring turkey supplies are rolling in daily, and the firearms department is stocked up with ammo for outdoor shooting. Spring is almost here, so get outdoors and enjoy the spring season. Stop by Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith, for all your outdoor gear. Think spring, think Jelco Outdoors.
This PGA Tour moment is brought to you by True Grain.
In 2000, Tiger Woods cruised to wins at the U.S. Open and the Open Championship, and then won a playoff over Bob May at the PGA Championship for 3 straight major victories. The next major up for grabs, the 2001 Masters. Tiger shot 16 under to win by 2 strokes and win the unprecedented Tiger Slam, the first player to win 4 consecutive major championships.
True Grain, the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour.
Evan Cohen here from Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio for True Green. Are you ready to elevate your lawn game without breaking the bank? True Green has been the trusted choice for over 2 million homeowners for over 50 years. Visit TrueGreen.com and discover the easiest and affordable way to achieve a pro-level lawn guaranteed. Plus, enjoy True Green's verified price matching, ensuring you get the best lawn for the best price. Visit TrueGreen.com and transform your lawn effortlessly. That's TrueGreen.com. Your dream lawn is just around the corner.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we should see sunny skies. Our high temperatures this afternoon might around 65, mainly clear. Overnight lows in the low to mid 40s tonight. Friday, right back to sunshine. Our high in the low 70s. And Saturday, mixture clouds and sunshine. Our high in the mid to upper 70s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today.
You're listening to The Morning Rush, live from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris Fort Smith. This hour of The Morning Rush is brought to you by Bud Light, brewed with the best barley, rice, water, and hops to be America's favorite light beer. Bud Light, please drink responsibly.
Just a big-time atmosphere. We've been drawing some great crowds over the years, and I don't see anything any different. You know, the weather's going to be fine, and you got two teams ranked in the top 10, defending national champion coming in. So I imagine that ticket's going to be hard to get.
And you guys are ranked number one, so you got defending champs versus the number one team.
We are.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios. Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Call or text The Morning Rush on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bentonville, a good deal is never too far away.
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
What do you think about player props in college sports? NCAA President Charlie Baker is not a fan of it. We're going to discuss that coming up, not just here in Arkansas, but other places, maybe cite some examples of what has gone on. You heard Dave Van Horn there talking about this upcoming baseball series against LSU. Starts today, 6 o'clock, right here on ESPN Arkansas, also on ESPN2, 7 o'clock tomorrow, 2 o'clock on Saturday. Big-time weekend here in Fayetteville, Arkansas.
Hey, real quick, WT Equipment has hot preseason savings that end in just a couple of days, end of the month, and you don't want to miss your chance for 0% financing for 60 months or take a free front-end loader on compact tractors, 0% financing or cash back on mid-range tractors, and you get select hay tools, or you can take up to $40,000 in cash back on the new T7 Series tractors. Hurry into WT Equipment. You need to do it today or tomorrow. Take home a truckload of savings when you buy right now. These offers end March 31st, so don't pass it up. Find a location near you at WTEquip.com. That's WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
So I just went to the Bet Saracen app, and there are some player props for tonight's game against the LSU Tigers. If you haven't heard, again, Charlie Baker is pushing back on the idea of player props within college sports. Now, he's been against this for quite some time, but they're working on to ban player props in college athletics. I think 38 states is the number that you're allowed to bet on sports, and some states have already banned them, but the NCAA is contacting officials in states, still allowing prop bets on college sports, and having them, trying to get them to join. One of the reasons for that is because some players are getting harassed to do certain things and information on their games, their teammates, and their coaches too.
All that makes sense, and it would make some of the information that you're trying to make sure stays guarded so that it doesn't become an unfair playing field. Wouldn't be as much of a priority. But let's be clear: the NCAA just can't write a rule and ban it. They're going to the casinos and the state commissions and the people on that side of it, and someone on bended knee, Chuck, asking them to not take this business anymore. I have no idea how much it represents. I'm going to guess a very small percentage in player prop bets in total, but particularly college sports. I don't imagine it's a big percentage of the action, Chuck. So maybe they'll acquiesce to this. I don't know, but the NCAA, they can't make any kind of demand on the gambling industry.
No, but I think this will happen.
I agree.
I think this will happen, and I'm going to be candid with you and tell you that I think it should. For the word Ty just said a moment ago, the harassment. You are opening these kids up for things that I don't think they understand. For most of us, gambling is picking up our phone, making a bet, putting our phone back down, and then looking at our phone for the next, however long it is, every 10 seconds to see how our bet's doing. That's what gambling is to most people. Gambling to some people goes way beyond that. Mm-hmm. And that's a world that I don't think college sports wants to get into. Now, look, college sports, they've got no one to blame but themselves. I mean, they willingly jumped in bed with the gaming industry because of the revenue. But I do think we are going to see a point where player props probably go away in college sports.
I've wondered with the pros, with the NFL in particular, and then you could ask this same question with the NBA and college sports and in general. There is no revenue sharing. I mean, the money that's taken in by the gaming industry.
NCAA doesn't get a lick of that.
They're making
nor does
money.
the NFL, nor does the NBA. And the whole industry is, the whole product is your product. I've often wondered how they would ever arrive at a point where the NFL got a piece of the action.
Well, hang on just a second here. This is one of the things, and I don't want to jump off too far into the weeds because I don't pretend to understand the gaming industry. But it does seem to me as though the gaming industry is making money off the name, images, and likenesses of these players. They're certainly making it off the names of these players.
Sure.
And I know that most of the casinos, if you want to use those terms, not just here, but all over the country, you listen to any college football game on, that Varsity app or any of Learfield's broadcasts, and there are a lot of them. If they've got in-state gaming, they're running on that network. So there's money going into the pot, so to speak. But the players aren't getting that money. Players aren't getting that money. And I think there's going to have to be a reckoning of that. Now, don't get me wrong. I think people, I got the app on my phone, all right? I'll confess right now. I got the app on my phone. I don't wager a lot, but every once in a while I do. Not on anything involving us, but here and there, I'm no different than anybody else. I'm not being holier than thou. But what I'm saying is that when you get into a situation where an 18 or a 19-year-old's performance that day determines how a 40-year-old or 45-year-old man who's under the gun, that's when you have situations like, we remember what happened at Alabama with that coach down there. Now, that didn't involve a player, but those situations come up. And I do think that that's something that probably down the road we may, at the very least, see modified. Yeah. I think it's an unintended consequence. I don't think the intention was bad. I think the fact that players can be subject to harassment is simply an unintended consequence.
And players are more accessible to the general public than ever before because of social media.
Yes, absolutely.
But I can't imagine losing a bet and then tweeting at or getting after a player. But that's just not a world I live in. But
that's good.
I can't imagine, taking it that far. But clearly there are people that are well across the line.
It is a cesspool at times.
You think about the fact that I say we, I'm using the collective we. I've never done it, and I know Tommy hasn't either. I don't know if you have or not, Ty, but people tweet at players just for missing a shot because they're mad, whether they got any money on the game or not. Compound that by the fact that you got maybe $400 or $500 riding on it if you're a small timer, or thousands if you're a big timer.
Well, see, I think a big timer is $400.
Well,
let me tell
all right. What I'm saying is, though, you understand my point.
Oh, I get it.
There are people that lay thousands of dollars on games, and I don't think anybody's betting
to lose.
I don't think anybody's betting $1,000 on whether Hagen Smith goes over under 9 strikeouts tonight. But I'll bet you somebody does have $1,000 on whether some of these players in the NCAA tournament score 20 points or not.
Yeah. I'll give you an example, my personal example. That Manny Watkins, and I'll share it for you.
I love Manny, but if you were betting on Manny, you probably lost. I love Manny.
He married one of my college friends, and I'll share that example in just a bit.
All right, we'll talk about that, and I think gambling's always an interesting topic and gets a lot of feedback on our show. Hey, we were talking about summertime fishing a little bit ago, and nothing says summer fun like fishing with a Phil Bobber. These are made by Pradco right here in Arkansas. They're America's favorite floats by Phil. They're available in a variety of sizes and colors. These are premium balsa wood floats that are made by the thousands by Pradco in Arkansas. They're great at detecting the slightest bite by fish and work great in tandem with crickets and redworms. You can find Phil floats at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, alertnet.com, and tackle stores everywhere. America's favorite floats by Thill, made by Pradco.
All right, we also have our Morning Rush daily question coming up. How much sleep do you need? How much sleep do you get, and how much do you actually need? Tom Murphy's going to be joining us momentarily as well. Plus, we'll get into the Hog update. We got some things this year, not just with this baseball team, but Arkansas Edge, all in hour number 2.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
This is Phil Steele, and you're listening to the Morning Rush.
Spring camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party April 13th and 14th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers behind Newt's. Sponsored by 2 of the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV and Moix RV, with brands you love like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago. On-site financing available, plus food trucks, a variety of vendors, and downtowns for the kids. Make plans to attend the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party April 13th and 14th, 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway, Rogers.
This is the Morning Rush.
Let's see. Leaky faucet Tuesday. Water flooding the yard. Better put that down for the middle of the month when the bills aren't due.
Honey, what are you doing?
Planning our plumbing problems, of course.
You can't plan our plumbing problems, but you should plan our plumber.
What do you mean?
Like all important contacts, I keep Westark Plumbing in my phone. They're always there when we need them, and they don't overcharge since they know we don't plan our plumbing problems. Here, honey, here's their number.
646-5151. Thanks, babe.
Westark Plumbing. We keep you flowing.
Diamond Center is proud to present our inaugural Whiskey and Watches event. Now is your chance to get your hands on that timeless timepiece you've been dreaming of. Between now and Thursday, April 25th, in our Fort Smith store, call or stop by to pre-order your watch. Then join us on Thursday, April 25th for a night of celebration featuring rare whiskeys, cigars, and luxury watches. This is your opportunity to add that watch that you've always had an eye on to your collection. For more information or to pre-order your watch today, give us a call. The Diamond Center, celebrating a legacy of love.
Drive a third-row SUV that is style in motion with the 2023 Buick Enclave at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Right now, get $1,250 in total savings or 2.9% financing on a 23 Buick Enclave. The 23 Buick Enclave, designed for the road ahead and well-crafted for your refined taste. Test drive a new Buick Enclave and experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Lack of teamwork, failure of communication, overall disappointment. I'm not talking about your favorite basketball team's performance in March. I'm talking about your marriage. If you're getting divorced, don't listen to the myths about custody and child support. Call me, Jackie Mock, at Mock Legal Solutions to discuss your rights and options. 479-769-1505. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price.
Sunday morning. You can smell it. Game day. And the brisket you've been smoking since last night. A day to be with family, aka fellow football fans. Traditions make Sundays easy to enjoy. Beers do too. Bud Light. Easy to Sunday, easy to enjoy. Bud Light is the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus, copyright 2023 Anheuser-Busch. Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson for Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. I want to talk about their pizza today. The Goob Special with extra pepperoni and rib rub on top. The Parm Special with double mushroom and jalapenos. Don't forget about the bacon cheeseburger and everyone's favorite, the old trash can. Swing on by Papa's Pub and Pizzeria at 508 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith. Or give them a call at 479-783-9941. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
How do I drive more traffic to my website? How do I increase my Google rankings? If these are just a few of the questions you have for your business, then we should talk. In addition to sports radio marketing, ESPN Arkansas can help your business be found online. From website design to geo-targeted campaigns, search engine marketing, social media management, streaming video campaigns, and much more. ESPN Arkansas is your digital marketing partner. Go to espnarkansasdigital.com for your free digital marketing audit or email us at sales@hitthatline.com to schedule an appointment.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. It's time for the Red River Dodge Morning Rush Daily Question. Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
Your Honor, I'd like to ask for a recess.
I'd like an answer to the question, Judge.
The court will wait for an answer.
Some of you know who actress Sydney Sweeney is. Some of you don't. If you don't know who she is, maybe ask your son or your grandson, because I guarantee you.
Can you tell me?
Do you need to know? Or do you
Yeah,
know
I
who?
need to know.
Christian's doing the whistle over there. Maybe look her up during the break, Chuck. I don't know if you want to look her up right now, but she's one of the most beautiful people on the planet.
Oh, well, yeah, I'll look her up. What's her name?
Sydney Sweeney.
Sydney Sweeney.
Do you know who Sydney Sweeney is, Tommy? Chuck is looking her up right now.
She's almost as beautiful as my wife.
Okay, that's a great answer.
Good answer.
That's a great answer. So
Sydney
Sweeney. Tell me your first conclusion when a picture pops up.
Wow.
Yeah. That's what most men think when seeing. Most women think the exact same thing. But apparently, as beautiful as she is, she doesn't need much beauty sleep. Only 2 hours.
She was born in 97.
Yeah, she's 26, man. I mean, this is like this isn't even real.
Yeah. Well, just 20 plus. That's fine. So, beauty sleep. Morning Rush Daily Question. How long do you need? I know that we all need our beauty sleep. I know that we can't just roll out of bed and do this radio show. I want to get 7 hours a night. I usually end up getting 6. I'm usually 9:30 to 3:30. That's my schedule. I wish it was more like 8:30 to 3:30. But what would you say what you actually need? And Chuck, I know it's changed from years ago to now, but
sort of.
Yeah. What do you need to feel adequate that you don't just yell and at everyone the next day?
I would like to get 7 to 8.
Okay.
I get 5 to 6 generally. I need 2 to 3 to operate.
I'm about that. And I think what happens, if there's like a big win that for, like San Francisco, Arkansas beat Gonzaga. I got an hour and a half of sleep that night, but I was as jacked up. I mean, they just beat the #1 overall seed. I didn't need much sleep. I had a burrito at 11:30 that night. Woke up the next day. I was good to go. But that was off of something spectacular. In a normal average Joe day, again, it's a little bit more difficult, but I'm kind of in that. What about you, Chuck? What do you need?
I get 6 hours, and once 6 hours are up, I'm awake and I'm up.
You're good to go. And we want to, and you're probably like me and Tommy, Chuck, you want to be able to sleep longer on the weekends, but our biological clocks, man, I'm up every Friday or every Saturday and Sunday, 7:30 or 8, and I can't fall
I will
back to sleep.
confess, though, as the day progresses, I am the king of the cat nap.
Yeah.
I will take a 15-minute nap on you now. I mean, you better be interesting about 1:15, or you're going to lose me till about 1:30.
Okay,
so that's just that. I just have to do that.
Real question here: how long? When does a nap become you went to sleep? I mean, you mentioned 15-minute cat nap. I would call that a power nap. I think a cat nap is a little longer, but at some point when that nap stretches into an hour or two, it's no longer a nap at that point.
Well, I can tell you. When I was a little younger than Ty, let me sound like a grandpa here, I did morning radio.
Back in my day.
And I burned it at both ends. I mean, I burned it pretty hard. I'm not going to lie. But, I would go home at 1 or 2 in the afternoon, and I would sleep till 5 or 6. And, anyone that's ever, worked early in the morning, take an afternoon nap in the winter, and you wake up and it's dark and you're in total panic because, you think you're late for work.
Yeah.
I've done that many times.
Yeah.
But now, if I sleep over 30 minutes, the day's wrecked.
Yeah.
But if I don't get my
sleep at night,
yeah. But I got to have a little cat nap somewhere during the day.
Couple responses. Dr. Tyler says 7 to 8 hours or night. Brandon in Paris says it depends on your age. I need at least
It
7.
does.
At least 7 hours of sleep plus his 30-minute nap during the day. I'm like you, Chuck. If I take a nap if it's longer than 15 minutes, as you say, it wrecks Tommy.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't fall asleep.
I don't nap because of that very reason.
Andy Mountain Home says, I say an hour is no longer considered an app or a nap, excuse me. Tyler Greenwood says, I need 8, but I only get 4, so I'm only a zombie. JT Notspring says, until he was 40, he only needed 4 hours of sleep, but now he needs considerably more than just 4 hours. Now it's 6 during the week and 7 on the weekend. So everyone, again, some people take advantage of the weekend, some people don't.
All right.
Tell you a funny story. Years ago, I was in a meeting when Baum Stadium was being constructed. They had a meeting on what the press box was going to be like, what the windows were going to be like. And I was young and slappy, but for some reason I got invited to the meeting, and we were going through it, and everybody was talking real seriously about what it was going to be like, and I looked over, and Coach Broyles was asleep. I knew we were in trouble, and we were. So, yeah, sometimes, I'm kind of like that now, that if you're not really interesting about 1:15 or 1:30, I'm gone.
We don't have time for the whole story, but one of the funniest stories I've heard you tell is when you got assigned to drive Coach Broyles to Little Rock.
Oh, yeah.
And he fell asleep in the car because he's famous for his naps, and his phone rang, and you didn't know what to do.
I didn't.
And he was taking his nap, and then when he woke up and realized he had missed a call, he said, my driver didn't wake me up.
I drove Coach Broyles to Little Rock years ago. It's the one time in my life I thought I was bulletproof. About 20 minutes into it, Broyles says, I'm going to take a nap. And so he leans back and takes a nap, and his phone rings, and I don't know what to do. I mean, you said it exactly. Yeah. Do I wake him up? What do I do? So I didn't do anything. And then Coach Broyles woke up and called him back. I mean, he threw me under the bus. He just threw me under the bus right there in the car.
My driver.
And, yeah, I didn't even have a name. So that was years ago, and I don't even know. I was about Ty's age, I think.
That was one of the funniest stories I've heard you tell.
That's a very, very true story.
That is your Morning Rush daily question brought to you by our friends at Red River Dodge. We got like 20 texts. All people have different opinions on their sleep patterns.
But let's get it right, though. None of us are getting any beauty sleep. We may get some sleep.
There's not beauty involved.
There's not much.
Not like Sydney Sweeney.
Not like Sydney Sweeney. All right, Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
This hour of Chuck Barrett on the Morning Rush is presented by V's Barbershop with 2 locations in Rogers and Bentonville. Visit V's Barbershop online at vbarbershop.com or in person and see why V's is a cut above the rest.
All right, before we talk to our friend Tom Murphy, let's talk to Ryan is in Hot Springs. He's got some thoughts on this too. Ryan, go ahead, man.
Hey, morning, guys. Morning, Chuck. I hope you're having a good day, buddy.
Man, I am. I hope you are too.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm headed home to go home to take care of a sick kid. So this will be an interesting day. But all right, though, I get to watch the rest of y'all show on YouTube. So that's the bright side. No, I was. It's kind of funny, it's talking about the sleep thing. If I know I'm going hunting or fishing, all I need is 4 hours. If I'm having to go to work, I need 5 to 8, minimum 5 to 8. But it's kind of funny, when I was a kid, especially that first day, the water tent was getting right to go fishing, and you knew it was going to be a good day. I couldn't hardly sleep, but 4 hours sleep, I was ready to go. So, but I just think it's kind of funny though. It kind of depends on your motivation on how much sleep you need. I feel like that kind of ties into what Ty was saying about the big win in San Francisco and how he didn't need as much sleep.
Yeah, that El Pastor burrito at 11:30 at night was good enough for me, Ryan. So on big events the next day, it's definitely one of those things where I get a little apprehensive, a little fidgety.
We're living on adrenaline.
Yes,
so,
and it was flowing through my veins after that victory over the #1 overall seed. All right, let's welcome in our friend Tom Murphy into the program this morning. Ryan, appreciate your call. Tom, it is opening day, my man. Your Atlanta Braves are a team that will have something to say about playoff run and potentially a World Series. How do you feel about the Braves this season?
Good morning, guys. I feel great. We have a good roster, a lot of pitchers. I think we're supposed to open in Philadelphia, and it might have already been postponed. I don't know. But why are we opening in Philadelphia, man? We need to be opening in Atlanta. It's warmer in Atlanta. But anyway, we should have a good team. Who can beat the Dodgers, though? That's the big question, I guess.
and all that money that they spend in the offseason. I know the storyline has been on Shohei Ohtani, and we discussed that a little bit on Tuesday. But to bring it back home, still sticking with baseball, Arkansas baseball hosting a top 10 team of the LSU Tigers. What did you think about Dave's decision to shift Molina and Tigert from their typical positions, what they've been in the rotation this year?
Well, he said it's nothing physical with Brady. They're working on something with his mechanics and on his release, and they hope to give it another day, I guess, to get it straightened out. And it could be a little message. You know, if you're going to walk this many people and have trouble with your control, then let's put you in the last game of the weekend slot. But I don't know anything beyond that. You know, Molina has been hard to hit, and he's held teams down generally, but it's the control factor. And you can see he got frustrated against Auburn when he wasn't getting some close calls, and you could just tell by his demeanor on the mound. And getting out of that fourth inning when they had a lot of guys on base and he had to battle through that was a big deal in the final game. So look, you know, Arkansas leads the country in ERA, and Tigert has been really sharp. He's been hard to hit. He's got a very low ERA, but you could tell he got a little frustrated too with having to come out the other day. So we'll see how that plays out, and if it works well for him, they might stick with it. If Tigert regains his control, they might move him back up.
Yeah. Some of this, I think LSU knows that, hey, their backs are, I don't know if they're pressed firmly to the wall, but they're certainly close to the wall. Their schedule is just unbelievably difficult, the first half of their SEC schedule. I don't know if it's a must-win, Tom, but they cannot afford to get swept this weekend in Fayetteville and at least stay in the race at this point in the West.
Yeah, that's the way you think. And so they're not starting their ace, Luke Holman, against Hagen Smith tonight. Looks like he'll go in game 2. And, I mean, he's been really tough to hit. Then low batting average against. He was at Bama last year, and obviously he's pitching a lot better for them this year. I'm not sure, you know, there's great talent on that team, but you look at them, they're batting .293. They got a couple tough, you know, Travinsky's hitting well, and Tommy White at third base is hitting well, but, you know, they're not getting up and down the order type hitting. But they do show patience. They're a good two-strike hitting team, and Arkansas is going to have its hands full. I expect this to be – I know that there's some national media coming in to cover this one, so this is going to be a fun one, 1 versus 7.
Tom Murphy with us on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. Let's shift gears to football because Sam Pittman's going to speak with the media later today. You've been at spring practice since it resumed a couple of days ago. What did you see the last few days, and anything you anticipate to hear from Coach Petrino later on?
Let's see. It's been really cool to be able to view all the practices so far. I mean, we've gotten to see every period, and well-oiled machine might be a way to put it. It never ceases to amaze me how well they coordinate, where everybody's going to be, especially when they go indoors, because that's a lot of guys out there, and they run from drill to drill really nicely. I wrote about on Tuesday when they came back from spring break how, you know, the ball was on the ground too much. I think there was a fumble or two that were like unforced. Just a guy lost the ball, and there was a couple of picks. So I expect ball security to be a focus and probably better today. Not sure what they're going in. They were in shoulder pads and shorts on Tuesday. They might go full pads, but obviously we got the scrimmage coming up on Saturday. And I tell you, I think this receiving core, I think they're going to work out okay. If you got lead guys like Andrew Armstrong and Tyrone Broden, who's much better, Isaac Teslaw had a great day on Tuesday, and then you've got the sort of guy like Satania, who's going to give you the speed factor, and then the younger guys like Davion Dozier or Jadon Wilson. You got Davion Dozier and Desmond James who are coming up. There's going to be some options to throw to for Taylor Green and company.
Yeah. You've watched the practices to this point. Give us the Tom Murphy depth chart in your opinion at quarterback. There's a ton of conversation around it. Who's won? A lot of people think Green. How do you see 1, 2, 3 at quarterback so far on your viewing of practice?
Well, I don't think we've seen anyone else but Taylor Green take snaps with the ones, or all of Taylor Green's snaps have been with the ones. Some of the other quarterbacks might have gotten a few reps with the starting guys, but the battles really looks like for the 2 spot, and Malachi Singleton has taken more reps there than Jacoby Criswell, who in fastball starts on Tuesday just wasn't on the same page with his wideouts. I mean, the wideout's cutting in, he's throwing out, and that happened on a couple of plays on fastball. And I mean, that's where they really focus on getting off to a sharp start. So, got to clean that up. But that's the 1, 2, 3, and so far it's Green, Singleton, and then Criswell.
Talking with Tom Murphy here on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. Tom, you mentioned focus. That was a word you just used. The focus right now, the athletics department has continued to improve Arkansas Edge. They've got this new Drive to 5 initiative. I don't know how many members are currently within that program. I know for Tennessee, it's just under 4,000. Ole Miss has got over 6,000. Do you think that it has been successful in the first few months, in your opinion, with Arkansas Edge?
Well, I think there's concern out there because when I go around and talk to folks, the worry is not being able to keep up with the Joneses in the SEC. And you know, there's some programs out there, you know, A&M, Bama, and Georgia, LSU, they're not struggling to have enough money. And so the concern is that I think that's why they're promoting this drive is they've got to get stronger back in the game. I have not heard any, you know, partial numbers at this point in terms of how many people they have signed up for it, but obviously it's a very key part of maintaining in college football right now or in a college athletic. So they've got to get more on their A game to, you know, to improve the product, so to speak. And then it comes down to, well, we want to see a better football product. Well, you know, what does it take? Well,
chicken or egg.
It's exactly. So it's a precarious scenario right now that, you know, they're trying to get ahead of it some, and we'll see what the results on the field yield this year. But a good football season is obviously going to help with that.
Yeah. Well, my old country boy math would say if they were anywhere close to their original goals, they wouldn't be rejuvenating this campaign, rebranding it, and ushering it out the way they did yesterday.
Agreed with that, Tommy. Yeah, so I think that's when I go around and talk to some folks, that's the concern is that the numbers have got to get much better.
All right, Tom, appreciate it. Looking forward to seeing you at the ballpark, Arkansas and LSU, and we'll hear more from you next week on the scrimmage on Saturday.
Outstanding. It looks like we're having a good weekend, so everybody take care.
All right, Tom Murphy with us here on opening day for Major League Baseball. His Atlanta Braves, he said, is in Philly. Brought to you, and he was on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. Chuck, I just wonder, you know, they're really rejuvenating and bringing this campaign out with the collective. I mean, just makes sense to me. Maybe I'm being too simpleton here and just connecting easy dots, but if they were anywhere close to where they wanted to be originally 4 months ago, I don't think they'd be making this kind of push right now.
You know, I'm not sure exactly what the figures are, and I don't know that any of us really know. We hear things. I hear things. I'm sure you guys do, and it's a focal point of a lot of conversations. And the general consensus, you know, whether it's accurate or not, the general consensus is that Arkansas is trailing there. And there's logic to what you just said. You know, this is the way the game's played now. Now, there may be a point down the road where it changes. I think there will be. I think we'll go to revenue share at some point. But we're not to that point yet. And you may not like this setup, but it's the setup that we have. And if you're going to win, you have to have money in NIL. You just do. You have to have it. You have to have lots of it. It may fly in the face of everything you've ever thought about sports. Boy, sometimes it does for me. But it is the world we live in now. And the rest of the world's not going to stop just because we don't like NIL. I do think there are some realities that are coming to bear for a lot of places, including our place, about how this is simply not going to work long term. That's why I do think there will be other routes for players to be paid. The idea, and I'll go back to what I've always said, the idea of paying players was because of these obscene television contracts. Well, they're not getting any of that money. You've created basically another well of money that comes from fans.
Yeah.
And there's got to be a way to get them that television money, or this whole thing's going to fall apart. And it's, as we said at the very beginning, more than ever going to be a situation where the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. And if you're in the wrong camp, it's going to be tough.
Guys, if they could convince 5,000 Razorback fans to commit $50 a month or $600 a year, that's still $3 million. That's nowhere near the numbers we hear you need, and that's the gross. I mean,
they're buy a QB.
Well, I mean,
get your quarterback,
right?
Yeah.
I mean, what I'm saying is the task is, I think, far more monumental than just 5,000 fans giving $50 a month, because the numbers don't add up, and that's $3 million before you've paid staff, before you've paid for the for the incentive prizes and all those things that leave you with 2-point-something million, probably 2.8, 2.9, whatever. But the reality is, it's going to take a lot more than 5,000 people, and it's probably going to take more than $50 from a lot of them.
Yeah, you add up that money.
It's just math. It's simple math.
I can't, and maybe this is flawed thinking. I can't wrap my head around or comprehend that Ole Miss is kicking our you-know-what's in this category if we were on the same level of a football program right now.
But we're not. They won 10
games. But we're not,
games.
and that's what I'm saying. Yeah. I just
Do you really know what's in their kitty? Do you really know what's in there?
All you have to do is look at who they got out of the portal. That's
I'm
the proof's in the pudding, Chuck. You don't have to have factual numbers. All you have to do is see that they had the number 1 or number 2 in every single recruiting ranking out of the transfer portal.
What I'm asking you, Ty, is do they have more money, or are they spending their money more wisely?
Are they spending their money more wisely? Well, they have a better high school recruiting class and a better transfer recruiting class.
There's a difference, though. I mean, if you've got appreciably more money than everybody else, you can buy your way out of your mistakes. If you don't have appreciably more money than everybody else, you can't miss. So that's what I'm asking. Does Ole Miss have more money than everybody else, or is Ole Miss just spending their money more wisely? And your answer is, I don't know, because none of us do. There's no question Ole Miss has got it going in football better than Arkansas does right now. The logical, to some people, assumption is, well, that they've got a better NIL. Now, just for the record, I think they probably do. But I don't think they're as flush as everyone says they are.
Yeah. Until they open the books, and I think we're a long ways from that, we'll probably never know.
We just don't know. That's and that continues to be the frustrating part.
Maybe they should do it like the Jell-O shots in Omaha. Just put a board up.
Hey, here's the thing right now. Every football program that's not doing it, there's always one program out there. Every program that's not doing it, well, if Ole Miss is doing it, how come we can't do it? V's Barbershop, if you're going to look good for the weekend, guys, that's where you need to go. Ty, you're looking shaggy. They've got 2 locations in Northwest Arkansas. They're in the Pleasant Crossing Shopping Center in Rogers. They're on Southwest 14th Street in Bentonville. They combine the best of the old with the new. You're going to smell the leather when you walk in. They got hot towel treatments. They've got a lot more than just a haircut at V's Barbershop. They've also got televisions, which makes it nice, too. Again, we mentioned their locations in Northwest Arkansas. They've got 2 in West Little Rock. You can visit them online at vbarbershop.com.
I think your question is fair, but my rebuttal is, if Arkansas is not spending their money wiser than Mississippi, because we all know the phrase, thank God for Mississippi, then we're in trouble. Okay. That's what JT says here on the McLarty Daniel. That's my initial thought is if we can't outsmart Mississippi, who, by the way, is headed up by an Arkansan and Keith Carter, Perryville, Arkansas, then we're in trouble if we can't outsmart Ole Miss. That is an issue. So whether it's one thing to get beat just because they have more money, but if we can't outsmart the Rebels of Ole Miss, that is an indictment of our athletics department and our football program.
Well, that's a big statement.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Go.
I really don't.
But
step on out there, big dog.
And it may be more true for football, but as we're seeing, I mean, run down the 16 teams left in the NCAA tournament. Do you think those are the 16 biggest NIL budgets?
Apples to oranges. Complete football, basketball is completely
Hey,
different.
hotty toddy, go down there and hang out in the Grove, man.
But the premise is
they're your guys.
The premise is the same.
They're the ones you envy.
You're saying that money cures all, and I'm just saying money is just a part of the equation anymore.
It is.
Ty's goal is to be an Ole Miss frat boy right now. This is the days of wine and roses for Ole Miss frat boys.
He loves baby blue.
No, I'm an Arkansan through and through. I'm a graduate through and through. I'm just saying it is an issue of mine that is what we have to deal with right now. But basketball is different. We've seen it last year. We've seen it this year. It's a completely separate. Football is separate.
But what if Ole Miss is better in basketball next year?
Then we're in trouble.
You're going to switch to their team too? You're going to switch to them
it's
too?
It's a bigger indictment of this athletics department, unfortunately.
Is Lane Kiffin your hero?
Hotty toddy.
He's in a better situation as head coach where he's at than
he's
the
a
one
bro,
we got right
man.
now.
He's a bro. Lane
He's
Kiffin,
a DB. Listen,
he is the bro's hero.
He is a DB on all fronts and high accounts. You love him if he's your head coach. You hate him if he's the other head coach. But you cannot. It is irrefutable to say he's a bad football coach. And now you got.
I'm not saying he is. I'm saying he's a bro's bro.
He's a DB, too.
You'd just like to be a cross between Lane Kiffin and Christian McConaughey, wouldn't you?
Matthew McConaughey?
Matthew McConaughey, yeah.
McConaughey's got good hair. If I look like Matthew McConaughey, I think I'd be better off than where I am right now.
I'd have a date on Friday night.
In terms of that department.
Hey, Gaston's White River Resort, they are the place to kick back and unwind in our state. I don't know of a better crown jewel when it comes to our state than the White River. It is just stunningly beautiful, but also one of the best trout fishing streams and sources in North America. I mean, you think about that, Canada, Colorado, all these places people talk about or pictures in Field and Stream magazine years ago. Arkansas is the mecca of trout fishing, and Gaston's has 2 miles of White River frontage with 80 private cabins and lodges for the most premier trout fishing you'll find anywhere on the continent. That's a big statement they can back up here in Arkansas and at Gaston's White River Resort. They go a step further with a great roster of expert guides that will take you out, show you exactly how it goes. And if you say, well, I'm not much of a fisherman, don't know much about it, but I want the experience, that's how you do it. You got an expert to run the boat, to take care of the tackle, to bait the hooks, to clean the fish, to do all of that stuff. You don't have to worry about a thing. You just sit back, relax, and unwind at Gaston's. 870-431-5202. Great for kids, great family experience, great summer getaway, great to take clients and business associates as well. 870-431-5202. Gaston's White River Resort. A first-class time every time.
Shop local, eat local, be local. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Spring camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party April 13th and 14th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers behind Newt. Sponsored by 2 of the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV and Moix RV, with brands you love like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago. On-site financing available, plus food trucks, a variety of vendors, and downtowns for the kids. Make plans to attend the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party April 13th and 14th, 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway, Rogers.
Tommy Kraft for the Fitzman. If you've always wanted powered automatic gates at your home or business, but you didn't know who to call, let me tell you about the Fitzman. 479-782-3936. The Fitzman does it all. Custom wrought iron installations, automatic gates, even controlled access systems, and lots more. Ask about 18-month, same as cash financing with approved credit. For your custom fence and gate needs, call the Fitzman. 479-782-3936. The Fitzman. He ain't afraid of no work.
This is The Morning Rush.
Touchdown, Hogs! 0.9% financing on a new 23 or 24 GMC Sierra at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Save up to $6,500 off with factory rebates on a new GMC Sierra truck, or take $3,750 off with 0.9% financing or 2.9% financing for up to 72 months on Sierra 1500. 6.2-liter engine excluded. Conquer with confidence in a new GMC Sierra from Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson for Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. I want to talk about their pizza today. The Goob Special with extra pepperoni and rib rub on top. The Parm Special with double mushroom and jalapenos. Don't forget about the bacon cheeseburger and everyone's favorite, the old trash can. Swing on by Papa's Pub and Pizzeria at 508 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith, or give them a call at 479-783-9941. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family, from general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Davis, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Now offering same-day crowns. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Hey, River Valley, this is Jackie Mock with Mock Legal Solutions. Y'all have eclipsed our expectations in supporting our law firm, and we are grateful. You blindly put your trust in us, and we are over the moon to announce our grand reopening. On March 29th from 2 to 6, drop by our office at 3401 South 79th Street. Meet Ruskin and Zach, grab a pair of free Eclipse glasses, and check out our expanded space and practice areas. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price.
Like an eclipse.
When I need a place to stay in Northwest Arkansas, I always choose the Inn at the Mill. It's centrally located in the heart of NWA at the Johnson exit off I-49 and is the most unique choice of hotels in the region. Whether you're in town for the game, a concert at the Amp, business travel, or just a weekend away, the Inn at the Mill has a spacious, clean room ready for you. Reserve your stay at the Inn at the Mill, 479-443-1800, or visit innatthemill.com. The Inn at the Mill, where the past meets the present.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
Spring is just around the corner, and Jelco Outdoors is ready with all of your spring fishing gear. Crappie, bass, catfish, Jelco has a great selection of rods, reels, and baits to help you fill that stringer. Spring turkey supplies are rolling in daily, and the firearms department is stocked up with ammo for outdoor shooting. Spring is almost here, so get outdoors and enjoy the spring season. Stop by Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith, for all your outdoor gear. Think spring, think Jelco Outdoors.
It's time to vote for your favorite high school player of the week. ESPN Arkansas and Shamrock Roofing and Construction are recognizing the most outstanding high school student athletes. Visit hitthatline.com each week to vote for your favorite athlete of the week. The high school player of the week is brought to you by Shamrock Roofing and Construction. No one can install a better roof at a better price with a better warranty than Shamrock. Visit them at shamrockroofer.com. Visit the nominees each week at hitthatline.com. Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Arkansas football. It's the players running through the A. Hog hats. It's more than 70,000 fans calling Woo Pig Suey.
Yes, sir.
Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
Let's get into our Hog Update this morning. Arkansas baseball, LSU starting tonight at 6 o'clock. You'll hear it on most of these ESPN Arkansas radio stations. The promotions, guys, they're doing mini flags tonight. It's a red out on Friday and a flyover on Saturday. That's my dad's favorite thing in all of sports when he's attending. The USAF E3 Century is flying over, plus fireworks and some other stuff if you're going to the game this weekend. One of the players you're excited to watch is Vahibo Loy, who's been on a tear as of late. Here's what Dave had to say about his shortstop transfer.
He was tearing it up when the season started against our pitching, and our pitching obviously is pretty good. And then when the season started, I think he tried to do too much. Then he tried to catch up, and he finally just said, heck with it. I'm going to take what they give me. They want to walk me. They can walk me. If they want to come in, they can come in. But he's done a lot better job lately of swinging at better pitches. You're going to go out of the zone every now and then because you just do. You get fooled a little bit, or maybe you're guessing for something, you get it. It's just a little more away than you thought it was when it left their hand. But I feel like that he's a very confident kid, and it's really good to get him rolling a little bit.
Guys, he's got 5 home runs on the year. He's tied with Kendall Diggs with that category, and then also 24 base hits and 24 RBIs. So as slow as the start he's had, he's kind of got back in the swing of things, pun intended.
And I don't want to say it's feast or famine with him, but, the home run production, and I know Dave talked about him being frustrated with it. He seemed to have figured that part out, Chuck.
Well, he's from Hawaii. He played ball in California. It's awful cold in Arkansas in February and early March. I really do think things like that matter, and I think he's fine now. It's starting to feel a little bit more like baseball out there, and I'll bet his numbers are really good as we go along.
He's an exciting player to watch, as is Hagen Smith, which you'll get a chance to see tonight. We mentioned Luke Holman starting for the LSU Tigers tomorrow. That's a guy you got to keep an eye on. Also, some guys you played last year who had successful outings against you, Travinsky and White. That's who Dave is really monitoring this weekend.
Well, they both have tremendous power. They do a great job of driving in runs. You want 27 and one's got 23 RBIs, and it's veterans, it's strength, it's opposite field power, pull power. They can get you hit when they need to. 2-strike hitters, they'll fight you. It's just 2 really tough bats in the middle of that lineup.
Travinsky's their catcher. Tommy White is one of the best hitters in all of baseball. He's hitting .333. He's got 29 hits, 27 RBIs. Last year, just for example, he torched you. 8 RBIs during the series against Arkansas. So he is, again, on the minds of many baseball coaches that have to go up against him, and really successful against Arkansas's last time out.
Yep, and I think this is going to be a pitcher's weekend. I don't think I'll be surprised if we see a lot of 8 to 6 ball games, 10 to 8 games. I think tonight, Chuck, this could be one of those Friday night type games where it's 2-1, 3-2, 1-0. I expect to see.
Well, you never know.
You never know, but that's what I'm expecting to see tonight. Is a game under 3 hours and probably not a lot of runs on the board.
Depends on who throws strikes. That will oftentimes determine games like this where you've got some hype going in. I don't think it's going to affect Smith. I don't know if it'll affect their guy or not. Look, LSU's been everybody's big opponent for a long time. And I don't think there's going to be any all on their part. If Arkansas wins this series, and I think they will, but if Arkansas wins this series, it'll be because Arkansas is better, and not because LSU is going to be wowed by anything.
That is your Hog Update this morning. It is brought to you by our friends, as always, at Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888. 8 Sparky.
All right, so a lot to discuss in hour number 3. We want to talk about some of the top earners in the NCAA tournament players, and you'll be surprised at some of these facts and figures that it comes to how much these different players are making. In fact, who's making the most money might surprise you too. You know how the company you keep kind of molds you and stuff? I wouldn't say I have the most, what's the word? Friends-wise, I don't have the best company, I say. Like, you know how I told you the story?
They're not the most sophisticated group?
Yeah, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
You hang out with low life.
It is a Too Stupid Thursday, and the guy that just lost our fantasy league is in the midst. You know how that Greyhound bus punishment I told you about?
Yes.
Where he has to ride a Greyhound bus for more than 24 hours from Nashville, Tennessee to San Antonio, Texas for his anniversary with his girlfriend. And
anniversary with his girlfriend.
Yes. Yeah. He is he's currently had 2 delays already. So instead of 24 hours, it's going to be more like 27 or 28. As he continues to update us on his road to San Antonio, Texas.
Are y'all getting pictures and videos?
He's updating us each and every town he stops at.
All right, there you go.
Make sure he's got that camera rolling when he gets shot.
Yeah. That's kind of a rough ending. Hey, best Tex-Mex, even better service is always at Joe's Grill and Cantina. It's Throwback Thursday. They'll have some of the old Cuckoo's platters available for you today. You can check one of those out on special. Tomorrow's Fajita Friday, featuring their charbroiled steak and chicken. It's full of flavor, comes with all the extras, and then endless enchiladas on Saturdays. It's all at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Great Tex-Mex, even better service. 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps in Fort Smith.
Hour number 3 on the way. Too Stupid Thursday. Plenty more stories to discuss.
Hello there, homeowner. Roger Scott for Leaf Guard Gutters of Arkansas. Are you tired of dealing with clogged gutters, climbing ladders, and worrying about potential damage to your home? Well, listen up to me now. Leaf Guard of Arkansas has got you covered.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
The tournament is here. BetOnline is your bracket headquarters for this season with the best bracket contests out there and odds, lines, and info on every game and every round right up to the national championship. You can access the most up-to-the-minute wagering information anytime from your desktop or your mobile device and even track your bracket real-time all the way through the tournament. Head to BetOnline today and get in on all the action. Remember to use the promo code BELIEVE for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Are you in need of a good power washing? Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash is a full-service pressure washing corporation with over 15 years of experience in the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas. Cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more. We remove dirt, grime, and more to give you that sparkle you desire. Call me at 479-763-5561. We're open Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash, one call, cleans it all.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor Abe from Woodland. Read about it.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Caitlyn.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got trophies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite, white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
The tournament is here. BetOnline is your bracket headquarters for this season with the best bracket contests out there and odds, lines, and info on every game and every round right up to the national championship. You can access the most up-to-the-minute wagering information anytime from your desktop or your mobile device and even track your bracket real-time all the way through the tournament. Head to BetOnline today and get in on all the action. Remember to use the promo code BELIEVE for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insights and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com.
He likes to have some fun with ball told anytime that question is asked. So we got some more baseball to discuss. We're going to hear more from Dave coming up. But you might be surprised to hear, listening at 8:01 here on a Thursday morning, that Caitlyn Clark is the highest paid NIL earner in the NCAA tournament, both men and women's. Not just women's. I think that's kind of expected, but men's too. I want to discuss that and kind of how it ties back into Fayetteville coming up.
Ty, I saw you last night. You were with one of your buddies, and you were talking about Uncorked because he had just taken a date to Uncorked.
First date there.
A first date. That's a way to impress the lady on the first date is Uncorked. It is the perfect place for fine dining and just a relaxed atmosphere if you want to go and meet some buddies and sit on the patio. I mean, it's really got something for everyone. If you're a wine connoisseur, they have got the machines where you load the card. Maggie or anyone or whoever's waiting on your table can take care of that. And then you can go to the different machines they have there. They're called Indomatic machines, but you can choose by the ounce what you want. So it gives you a chance to try maybe a bottle that you wouldn't normally go for at the store, but you want to try not even a full glass to see if you even like it before you would do that. And there's a big variety of those that you can try. Tons of beers on tap. I like the bourbon selection. They always got something great at Uncorked. And at Uncorked, they got the biggest screen to watch games on. They've got it right up over the bar, so March Madness games will be on there as well. It's a great weekend to stop in at Uncorked. Maybe get the family together Saturday morning for a pre-Easter brunch as well. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next door to Sody's in Fort Smith. Make your reservations for the weekend at uncorkthefort.com.
This hour of Chuck Barrett on the Morning Rush is presented by Mach 1 Financial. Mach 1 Financial Group, LLC is an SEC-registered investment advisor located in Bentonville, Arkansas. For full disclosures, visit mach1financial.com/disclosures.
I mentioned Caitlyn Clark, and that immediately sparked a text from Andy in Mountain Home saying he's tired of her antics. And I don't blame him. I think her own dad is tired of seeing how much she complains, moans, and is irritable towards the referees. They escaped the other night as they move on, but she is the highest, again, in the NCAA tournament. This doesn't include Bronny James, Livy Dunn, I think Shadur Sanders, and Travis Hunter, but of the NCAA tournament participants that are currently still in, she's the highest earner with over $3 million.
$3.1 million.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was reading the notes you put together on this morning, and it had Gatorade, and it had the different, because there was a very high-profile Gatorade commercial she was featured in the other night. But that's what NIL was intended to do, right? Is exactly what we're talking about here. She's made over $3 million doing commercials for 3 or 4 different major national brands. But that's not what NIL really is.
Earned it based on what she's achieved.
Based on her athletic performance and the way she's connected with fans, Gatorade and these others. Where's that list of the 4? There's 3 or 4 different ones.
Well, the top 3 are female.
Gatorade, Nike, State Farm, Buick, and something called Gainbridge are all part of that 3 point. Isn't that the essence of what NIL was intended to do?
You look at the top 3 earners on the female side. Angel Reese is at $1.8 million, and shockingly to me, Flave Johnson of LSU's women's team's at $1.1. Those are the top 3 earners that remain in the NCAA tournament. And the answer to your question is, in many respects, yes.
Mm-hmm.
That is, I don't know, I doubt, when Caitlyn Clark was recruited by Iowa, that there was a lot of money that changed hands. I doubt that. But obviously she has become a star. Ty, are you old enough? Well, you're not old enough. Tommy maybe to remember when Danny Ainge played.
Oh,
when
yeah.
Danny Ainge was a player. She's the female Danny Ainge.
Yeah, he complained after everything.
Can shoot like crazy, knows how to play the game, but complains about every call, about halfway dirty, flops at the drop of a hat. She is the female Danny Ainge.
Good comparison.
Bird, that's a great. Bird always made fun of Danny Ainge. I always watch these old documentaries and clips, and every single one of them, or just watch. They have the archive full games, and every time the Lakers, Ainge did something dirty, or he was moaning about Magic or Byron Scott or whatever. I never thought about that, but that's great. Here's what
I see Danny Ainge every time I watch her play.
Yeah.
She's fantastic. Here's the. I think what's an interesting part about this list, and we mentioned the 3 young ladies that are at the top. Jared McCain is a true freshman for Duke. He's at $1.1 million. He's had a good tournament thus far. And Rob Dillingham is another freshman. He's earning $1 million. He's the young man from Kentucky. Now, the other guys you've got listed, Baycott's an upperclassman. R.J. Davis is an upperclassman, both playing for North Carolina. Apparently, it took nearly $1 million to get Hunter Dickinson to Kansas, $844,000. Zach Edey, $810,000. Definitely earned it this year with Purdue. But I think what the issue with NIL, and it's one of the many issues going on, is McCain and Dillingham, for example, are not the best players on their team. Dillingham's fantastic. I think he's got a bright future in the NBA. McCain, I don't think did squat against Arkansas when he came into Bud Walton Arena. Might hit a 3 or 2. But you've got other guys on the team that are not only upperclassmen, not only the leaders, not only are just better players, but are making less money than these freshmen. And what is happening in today's climate of NIL is it's taking more and more money now to get kids to campus, to even in some cases to meet with certain kids. You have to hit a certain threshold. And these upperclassmen and these starters and these guys are seeing it. And it's like, yo, why is this guy as a true freshman making more than me when I've earned it, as you said with Caitlyn Clark, when I've done it? Caitlyn, for example, is probably worth more than 3.1. But
and
other
she's getting
guys,
more than that.
And she is. But that's a huge issue in all this, too.
But see, this is what...
Timing is everything, man. Caitlyn Clark's hit it at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
She's hit it at the right time in society. She's not the best female player of all time, not even close. But she's hit it at the right time. Dillingham, McLean. 2-3 years ago, well, let's just take a couple of years ago when Arkansas signed Nick Smith and Anthony Black. I would feel very strongly and feel like I'm 100% accurate in saying that if you were to talk about what would be described as NIL money to get them to come to Arkansas was pretty much nothing. And now I'm not saying they didn't get something when they were here, but it was not used necessarily as a recruiting inducement the way it is even 2 years later. That's what's changed in the NIL, particularly in basketball, is money up front. But guys, that's what they do in the NBA. All these kids want to be in the NBA. In the NBA, you get your money up front. You play when you want.
And I haven't fully looked into this, but I think that the NBA delete or is going to end their G League Ignite team because it's a failure. They're like 2-29. So
it's not where people want to go.
Yeah.
But to your point with the NBA, you're right. You get that rookie contract, but that's a fraction of what a second contract will be. So yes, you become rich on that first NBA contract, but you become wealthy if you can get re-signed after that initial rookie deal. So there is a lot to still play for early on and to prove. But, back to this NIL, this is what everyone was hoping it was going to be, is that Nike or Gatorade or a car manufacturer would recognize that, hey, you have brand power as an athlete, and we want to pay you to be a part of our marketing campaigns. But it's become where collectives are raising money from the fans, like we're trying to do here at Arkansas, and you're getting private money to just pay people to come to school. If what we're talking about here with Caitlyn Clark and Angel Reese and that list of players was all that it was, no issue. But I just hate that players are seemingly, or at least from the outside looking at, going to the highest bidder. I hate that.
Here's the thing that I hope these kids understand, is that this is fleeting. If they are leaving college with the idea that they're going to make a career off their name, image, and likeness, they're mistaken. Because it's going to end fairly quickly. There aren't very many of them that live forever, so to speak, in terms of the public realm. And so that's the one thing that I do wonder about with some of these kids. If they understand that making a living off your name is not going to be a career. It's just not going to be that way. And, I guess we'll find out if they understand or not.
Because there's a pipeline always bringing the next one along. And in the college game, we love and celebrate our past heroes, but, we're far more concerned about the current player and how they perform.
Well, if you look historically at the Razorback program, our good players over the years, if they're decent people, our state takes care of our heroes. And we've done that with a lot of guys over the years. And now you're not going to have that as much in the NIL era because guys aren't going to be able to build that brand quite the way that they did before. But even now, you think about this, and this is the point that I want to make. There aren't all that many Razorbacks out there that have made a living off being a Razorback. There's a handful, but most of them have gone into a different profession, and being a former Razorback has aided them in that. Mm-hmm. But they have not made a career out of name, image, and likeness. For some of these guys, it's going to come to a screeching halt in, a pretty short amount of time. I don't know if they understand that.
Yeah.
Caitlyn Clark, she'll earn this kind of money for 4 or 5 years, and then it'll be over. Go ahead.
I was going to say she just got offered $5 million. It was under the table, but now it's out that by Ice Cube to play in that Big Three. Yeah. And then she also got by Barstool Sports $10 million to play on their intramural team. So
she's a hot commodity right now, and she better be wise in what she picks, and she better make good decisions because 5 years from now it's going to be over. She may still be playing basketball, but there's going to be a new flavor of the month come down the pike.
Yep.
You can just be guaranteed of that. So that's what and look, I don't know that a full-fledged adult would completely comprehend it until they were right in the middle of it. And some of these kids, and more importantly, some of the people that surround them, I don't know if they fully comprehend it either. But they do understand that people are willing to pay for their services. Yeah. And they in many cases, take full advantage of that.
And I think one of the values of Caitlyn Clark is she is a female, and because there's a multitude of male stars
she hit it
out
at the
there.
right time.
Well, but she's a female star, and there's just very few of those that are true stars that are females in sports. That's just fact. So the fact that she is one, and a certain a certain segment of the audience is always going to look up to her, and half of our society as females, makes her more valuable to any of these companies because of that. So you're right about the timing, but I think a select 1 or 2 female athletes every 4 or 5 years is going to have this opportunity. She happens to be the one right now.
So think about this matchup that could potentially await in the Elite Eight if Iowa plays LSU, which, Chuck, you said earlier this week, people are dreaming, or TV executives at ESPN.
I didn't say that. Somebody else said it. I didn't say it.
Are hoping it's going to happen. Maybe you didn't. Maybe Clay
hoping which matchup will happen?
LSU against Iowa.
Oh, in the
Elite Eight game, which would.
But you're right. It would be a dream matchup.
But think of how much money. That's $5 million between 3 players, and that's just the money that's initially being reported between Kayla Clark, Angel Reese, and Flau'jae Johnson. 3 players, $5 million, and they're females too. This is not that. I think that's what's still surprising to me is that the men, which is heavily more viewed than the females, is that the men's really are. I mean, it's the top 3, and you got one that's tied, but that's just odd to me. I was kind of surprised by that.
They're all lightning rods. It's not boring. And that's the most important thing. Caitlyn Clark made me think about Danny Ainge. Angel Reese, Kim Mulkey. Love her or hate her. Man, she draws eyeballs. And there are provocative personalities in the women's game right now. And that's what they've always lacked. It's always been boring. Just candidly, it has always been boring to the average sports fan. Not because, and that is in no way, shape, or form to say the game is not good. It's to say that everything was cookie cutter. You know, you go to one arena, it's the same as the next arena. And men's basketball is in danger of having that happen, by the way. But it's always been that way, women's basketball. Now you got personalities.
Yeah.
You got personalities people argue about. You've got personalities that people really dislike. You know? I mean, start a discussion on Kim Mulkey. See if you won't get a bunch of opinions among guys. You know, when's the last time you brought up a women's basketball coach among 6 guys and you got strong opinions from all of them?
No.
I mean, you know, as great a coach as Gino Auriemma is, I never recall a moment in time where one of my friends said, man, I can't stand that guy. And another guy goes, me either, because nobody cared.
Yeah.
Now you got personalities. Now you got people out there that spark discussion, and that's what makes it valuable.
Yeah. You think the fight between South Carolina and LSU helped or hurt women's basketball? It was the best thing that they could have had happen at that moment because it got people talking. It made brand names for, you know, Mulkey was already a brand name, but it enhanced hers. Same thing for Angel Reese. Even Don Staley, who had to clean up some of that mess, it was good for the women's sports. As much as the commissioners and everybody wants to clutch their pearls, they were privately pumping their fist.
And I'll go back to what you were talking about earlier on the men's side, Ty, showing all the games, you know, showing games in their entirety. I got bored with one of those men's games. It was either Saturday or Sunday. I forget the day. Man, I was over there watching LSU in Middle Tennessee. Not because, you know, I was dying to watch LSU in Middle Tennessee, but because the personalities were more interesting than the ones I was watching on this other game. So I give them credit. And you've got to have that spark, man. You've got to have that thing that moves the needle. And right now the women's game has those personalities for the first time, at least in my lifetime. And that's why these women are making the money that they're making. Now, somehow, some way, if the sport sticks, you got to find a way for others besides 3 or 4 of them to make money. But good for them. And they've hit it at the right time, and they're making the most of it. Hey, this week on the Market Moment podcast, David talks to John and Eli about the latest market headlines, like the airline company Boeing going through major leadership changes, Japan's raising interest rates, and is there finally some hope for the current housing market? Well, you can check out the latest episode of the Market Moment podcast by heading to market-moment.com. Now, Mach 1 Financial Group, LLC is an SEC-registered investment advisor. They're located in Rogers, and for full disclosures, you can visit mach1financial.com/disclosures.
Big game here in Fayetteville this week. A big series starts tonight, 6 o'clock, right here on most of these ESPN Arkansas radio stations. That's what Brent wants to talk about via the McLarty Daniel hotline. Brent is in Searcy this morning. Brent, got about a minute, man. Fire away.
I'm already in Fayetteville, America for the game. So, Chuck, does it make any difference how Coach Van Horn switched our pitching around a little bit with Hagen Smith and then Molina and then Brady Tiger?
Well, we'll see. I mean, Tiger needs to perhaps be a little bit more efficient with his pitching. Brady's really good. I mean, he's really good. I love watching him pitch. But he's laboring a little bit right now, but he'll be fine. I'm kind of like Ty. I wonder if maybe they'll go with this for a while. We'll see.
Well, I'm excited having my morning heater, so everything's beautiful.
All right, man.
Brent, not afraid to promote tobacco.
Yeah. Brent, we'll see you at maybe see you at the ballpark tonight.
I don't know. I'm going to be honest. I have friends that are avid cigar smokers, and I've never heard of a single one of them smoking one. I mean, he's called us at 6:15 in the morning, and he's like, "I've got my."
He's
heater.
not talking about cigars. He's smoking a cigarette.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know how many people, my buddies that smoke cigs that do it that early in the morning.
That's what a heater is.
Okay.
That's an old baseball term.
Ah.
That's an old baseball term. When Jim Leland would smoke cigarettes in the dugout, he was always smoking a heater.
Okay.
And that's where that term comes from.
Well, I learned something new. I thought that I just assumed that was a cigar, but now I know it's a cigarette. Well, we mentioned and I know Britt's excited not to just see what the rotation looks like, but the game this weekend. Tommy, you're going to go today. Going to be there for 6 o'clock later on. This is a big sports weekend. I know it's Easter weekend for all of us, but you think about the combination of both Arkansas baseball as the number one team in the country, the NCAA tournament, Sweet 16, and Elite 8. Got Arkansas Derby going on in Oakland. I mean, there's a lot of stuff happening across Arkansas.
Ton of things, and mentioned earlier that Bet Saracen app. Have that on your phone. You can keep up with a lot of stuff there, and even track games. But like you said, across the different aisles of sports. I mean, the Arkansas Derby, Chuck, that's been one of the biggest sporting events in our state every year for decades.
It's a see and be seen kind of place. I can't believe you're not going, Ty. I can't believe you're not going to be in the infield in a seersucker suit.
I missed my opportunity. I'm going to be a good family man and go home and see mom and dad.
Hey, that's probably a better ticket right there to keep you out of the doghouse.
Yeah.
Hey, if you're out and about this weekend, stop in at a Schlotzsky's. There's a location near you, and it's one of your places for all your favorites. And try something new at Schlotzsky's. Whether it's your first time or you're an old timer, it's always a good time at Schlotzsky's. But be prepared. The smell of their fresh baked bread will hypnotize you. If you do it right, you be sure to find their meteor sandwiches, and you'll find it always with the fresh vegetables as well. You can get their app on your phone, download it, and you can enjoy some of their delicious deals right now. You'll find Schlotzsky's in Hot Springs, Fort Smith, Mountain Home, Fayetteville, Rogers, Springdale, and Siloam Springs as well. It's all at Schlotzsky's. Download their app today.
All right, when we return, we've got our SEC coming up in just a bit. Also, want to talk about some coaching changes in college basketball, some that have been filled, some that are still vacant. We'll do that next.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
Good morning, gentlemen. Thank you for taking my call today. And good morning to this great fan base.
Spring camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party April 13th and 14th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers behind Newt's. Sponsored by two of the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV and Moix RV, with brands you love like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago. On-site financing available, plus food trucks, a variety of vendors, and downtowns for the kids. Make plans to attend the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party April 13th and 14th, 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway, Rogers.
Hello there, homeowner. Roger Scott for Leaf Guard Gutters of Arkansas. Are you tired of dealing with clogged gutters, climbing ladders, and worrying about potential damage to your home? Well, listen up to me now. Leaf Guard of Arkansas has got you covered. Introducing Leaf Guard, the only true one-piece seamless covered gutter system on the market, guaranteed to never, ever clog. With Leaf Guard, you can kiss goodbye to all the hassle of climbing up and cleaning out all that muck and mud and shingle grit. No more hiring someone else to do it, or worse yet, risking serious damage and issues by doing nothing at all. Spring is finally here, which means it's time for Leaf Guard's famous Ugly Gutter event. Leaf Guard will swoop in in, take down, and haul away all those unsightly gutters at absolutely no charge, and you'll receive an incredible 60% off installation on a whole house leaf guard gutter system. But wait, there's more. Ask about the 0% financing options and additional discounts for seniors and military personnel. Do not let ugly gutters ruin your home's curb appeal or cause costly damage. Call 501-664-5400 or visit leafguardandmore.com to schedule your free estimate today. Leaf Guard of Arkansas, protecting your home one seamless gutter at a time.
This is the Morning Rush.
Touchdown, Razorback! Drive a third-row SUV that is style in motion with the 2023 Buick Enclave at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Right now, get $1,250 in total savings or 2.9% financing on a 23 Buick Enclave. The 23 Buick Enclave, designed for the road ahead and well-crafted for your refined taste. Test drive a new Buick Enclave and experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Free Diamond Madness this March at the Diamond Center. During the month of March, Diamond Center is giving away a free lab-grown diamond with the purchase of any natural earth-grown diamond, 1 carat or larger, or with the purchase of any qualifying in-stock setting. All you have to do is pick out the perfect engagement ring and we'll take care of the rest. All backed by our free lifetime warranty. This is a can't-miss opportunity. Don't miss out on free Diamond Madness the entire month of March only at the Diamond Center, celebrating a legacy of love.
Walk-Ons is always a win. Whether it's a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight dinner, Walk-Ons has you covered. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers and cocktails. Dig into mouth-watering menu items like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. Find your nearest location in Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Conway, and coming soon to Little Rock, or order online or in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win.
There's more to a tractor than just horsepower. A tractor also needs weight to get that horsepower to the ground. With TYM, a heavier tractor comes standard. Many of the TYM models weigh more for the horsepower than comparable tractors from the big names, and tractors that weigh more do more. See Bush Tractor at their new location at 6100 South Zero in Fort Smith, or log on to bushtractor.com to see how they can upgrade your productivity.
Clogs? Nobody wants a clog. Westart Plumbing knows that clogs are a serious issue. They can signal that bigger problems are on the way. So contact Westart Plumbing while the problem is small. Slow shower and sink drains, gurgling toilets, and outside cleanouts making a mess? Call 479-646-5151 today. Westart Plumbing and expert drain cleaning since 1993. They keep you flowing. If you have slow drains or high water bills, call Westart Plumbing and expert drain cleaning service. 646-5151.
Lack of teamwork, failure of communication, overall disappointment. I'm not talking about your favorite basketball team's performance in March. I'm talking about your marriage. If you're getting divorced, don't listen to the myths about custody and child support. Call me, Jackie Mock, at Mock Legal Solutions to discuss your rights and options. 479-769-1505. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything, service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSauto.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. You're listening to The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Go down there and do your thing, Tommy. We know you're the man. Get it done.
Get it done.
I'm sure they'll welcome you right in.
Fault. That guy blew that call, and it was Tommy's. He was so bad, Tommy's fault.
see if there's any blown calls starting tonight in the NCAA tournament. 6 o'clock start, 6:09 to be exact, as Clemson and Arizona do battle. 3 other games. We'll talk about some of those coming up as we continue on here on a Too Stupid Thursday.
Get by Sassy's. Talking about baseball this weekend. Sassy's will have games, not only the Sweet 16 games and the Elite 8 games as the weekend moves on, but they're going to have baseball on. If you're going before or after the game and looking for a place to stop and eat, Sassy's is always one of our favorites. The award-winning smoked wings. I think Ty and I both like the honey sriracha, but there's a couple of different options you can get there. But I'm telling you, they smoke those wings and they flash fry them for just a few seconds. Put that honey sriracha sauce. Oh, what would you give right now for a big plate of those? Man. And they're big meaty wings, too, so you'll like that. Of course, anything you get off the barbecue menu is great. They got great burgers. I have not had the catfish there. Have you had the catfish there?
I have not, no.
I have not, but I hear nothing but about how great it is. And I had someone was with me the other day, got the chicken fried steak, and that was a massive.
That's the underrated thing.
Steak.
Alan knows what he's doing over there with that.
Hey, when it comes to barbecue, catfish, burgers, and more, nobody does it better than Sassy's. 2 locations in Fayetteville. Eat, drink, and be sassy.
Now, while a lot of storylines in college basketball are going to be about the NCAA tournament, others are about coaching vacancies that have been filled and vacancies that are still open. Louisville's job is now closed. Pat Kelsey looks like he's going to get. The former College of Charleston coach has been reported by multiple outlets. Andy Enfield is going to SMU. It was talked about, but it looks like it's going to happen from several other sources. So the USC's job open. I did my due diligence yesterday, as Clay Henry instructed me. I reached out to several journalists that cover the USC program. Guy that works for 247, guys that cover for 25-plus years, and the AP writer there. This was their following responses. I said, must be a candidate for the USC job. Not would he have interest, but would they have interest in Eric Musselman? And one was, yes, he'll be on a hot board. Yes, I do. And he said, and the other one was maybe. It would be Jen Cohen's first signature hire at USC as the program is headed to the Big Ten.
But I wonder if that's their opinion or if they've got information where they've checked it out and think he is a true candidate.
Well, that would have a lot to do with Mrs. Cohen, who's their athletics director, and then also the board of trustees.
Right.
I mean, a lot of loops you have to jump through in terms.
But I'm just saying, you asked those 3 reporters. Good job by you, but that's their opinion that Eric Musselman would be a good candidate. Is he actually a candidate? Because there's really only a couple of opinions, like you said, that matter. The AD and those that are going to be decision makers in the process. Doesn't matter what really a reporter thinks of something. Is it actually happening?
I said, do you think the Trojans would entertain that hire? That's what I framed the question as.
Are they looking at him as a candidate?
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, we'll see. To me, there's nothing to it until there's not even really smoke at this point. So let's just watch that. Every job that comes open doesn't mean he's a candidate. Is he a great coach? Yes. He was a game below 500 for the regular season, missed the tournament, hadn't had a winning record in 2 years in SEC play. There are things that would make it a little more of a challenge to win the press conference for the AD in making that hire. We all know he's a great basketball coach. None of us want him to leave because we know what he's capable of. We want to get back to Sweet 16, Elite Eights, and, yes, Final Fours, championships. And I think he's the guy that can do it.
So if Hunter Yurachek is in this situation right now where he either is or isn't being looked at by other colleges, how do you sell this fan base? How do you sell the Board of Trustees? How do you sell Arkansas the idea that we need to pay him more or extend him based on what just happened the last 2 years? Because is the only thing that he can cite the market, as you've referred to? Is that the only thing that you can say? And when it comes to
there's a difference between a raise and an extension. And generally, raises come with extensions, but it's customary to keep a coach on a 5-year deal. Now, I don't think that's nearly as important as it used to be because how many players stay for 4 years anymore?
Mm-hmm.
At least marquee players. It's becoming very rare in the portal era. So, do administrators and people that are making these decisions view contract extensions and lengths of contracts now as, hey, they need to be at least 5 or 6 years as we see on initial deals all the time? I don't think agents, the Jimmy Sextons of the world aren't going to give up that piece of real estate. Mm-hmm. But I don't think that having 4 or 5 years on your contracts what the coach needs to have in his back pocket when he enters the living room. I don't think that's a big deal because how many basketball players think they're going to be at a school 4 years?
Not many
none.
anymore. No,
none of
not
them
many
do.
anymore. I wonder with Nate Oates, and I don't think the reported figures come out. I think what AL.com said is that he's going to be a top 5 paid coach in college basketball. They're going to get bounced tonight. They're not beating North Carolina. They don't have the beef to handle Baycott. And this, again, they have yet to reach an Elite 8 under Oates, and yet he's going to be one of the top 5 highest paid coaches in college basketball. I would guess some in Tuscaloosa think that he is overpaid if they continue. And listen, Sweet 16 is nothing to sniff at. Second weekend is nothing to sniff at. But if you're a top 5 paid coach in college basketball, just like Cal is, and apparently according to Mitch Barnhart, he's staying on as the 16th season as the Kentucky basketball coach, that to me it doesn't warrant the level of results you should be getting if you're a top 5 paid coach in the country. That's my opinion. Maybe ADs and board of trustee members have different thoughts. That's just not what I envision.
There's an old adage that he's your guy till he's no longer your guy. And Mitch Barnhart may or may not have been looking around to see who he thought could be a better marketer, better coach, better recruiter, better all of it than John Calipari. If you can't come up with a better solution, you stick with what you got, right? You don't trade in 2 aces for 2 sevens if you got 2 aces, right? I mean, until you get 2 aces is your pocket pair, you stick with what you got. So, might not be the best analogy, but I just don't think Mitch Barnhart's going to move until he has a bigger name, bigger coach, better solution than Calipari. Hey, we all know that April 8th is coming up, and the April 8th total eclipse is going to really be something in our state. Get to the party place. A lot of people having eclipse parties. They've got the eyeglass, the eclipse glasses that you need. They've got all of that, everything you need for really any party, any occasion. They're in Conway. They're in Fort Smith. And we're going to have halftime live at the party place coming up. So get everything you need for your next party at the party place in Fort Smith and in Conway.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
How's that old Bart feeling, man?
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Caitlyn.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
The tournament is here. BetOnline is your bracket headquarters for this season with the best bracket contests out there and odds, lines, and info on every game and every round right up to the national championship. You can access the most up-to-the-minute wagering information anytime from your desktop or your mobile device and even track your bracket real-time all the way through the tournament. Head to BetOnline today and get in on all the action. Remember to use the promo code BELIEVE for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yeah.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Are you in need of a good power washing? Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash is a full-service pressure washing corporation with over 15 years of experience in the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas. Cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more. We remove dirt, grime, and more to give you that sparkle you desire. Call me at 479-763-5561. We're open Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash, one call, cleans it all.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor A from Woodland. Read about it.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Burton Pools and Spas. Trusted pool experts and your source for backyard fun. Locations in Fort Smith, Springdale, and always online at burtonpools.com.
I like to scour the transfer portal and just look at certain players that have hit it. And I was surprised to see that Michi Johnson, South Carolina's top scorer, who Arkansas has played twice this season, has entered the portal as one of a handful of SEC players that have already entered. You'll see some other guys that will do it at the conclusion of their season. 2 SEC teams remain, the Tennessee Volunteers and the Alabama Crimson Tide are both in action. Bama tonight, Tennessee tomorrow. Should be a great game between Tennessee and Creighton. But I wonder if there's a big... Muss likes to, a lot of times, guys that he's played, like he played Jalen Tate. If you remember, there's been some other guys that they've added to the portal that had played previously. I wonder if there would be some mutual interest between Michi Johnson and Eric Musselman.
He's one of the players out there, get your attention, get your name. But you look at the real success stories like Dalton Connect and, some of these players that in our league in particular, they didn't come from one Power 5 school to another Power 5 or 6 school. They came from places like, Northern Colorado?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and from, group of, what do they call them in basketball? It's not group of 6, but they
mid-majors.
But they have another name for like the, all the other the top of that. Anyway,
okay.
Point being, I think that's where you scour heavily. Getting another player from another school in this league, that's great. But I think I think the real pieces that have fit a lot of the puzzles and pushed the team past the threshold have come from places that were outside the Power Five in many cases. Dalton Connect's the best example.
Yeah, and Arkansas, again, hosted a UMass transfer on Tuesday whose name is escaping me. Had pretty good numbers when he's playing for the midshipmen. Again, his name, I've said it 10 times. Yeah, I've said it 10 times this week, and I just can't think of it at the moment. But that's who they've hosted at least that has been public. Don't know about the other contacts and maybe potential visits on the horizon. I'm sure we'll get an update from Richard Davenport about that next week. Reitzel, the guy, the scat shooting guard for Alabama, had a concussion in his last game. Is day-to-day, according to Nate Oates. Mentioned the game against North Carolina tonight.
Josh Cohen's the name you're looking
Josh
for.
Cohen, thank you. Then here's what's a huge intriguing part of this game. So I mentioned a little earlier, Nate Oates has never made it past the Sweet 16, even with the team last year he had, and Bediako and Brandon Miller and Clowney and those guys, and Sears still didn't make it, got abused by San Diego State. I don't see how they get past Baycott in North Carolina tonight. Now, I think Sears and R.J. Davis will go back and forth. That's one of the best point guard matchups you'll see all NCAA tournament long. But Bama's issue, Achilles heel, Tommy, is they're soft down low with Nelson and Pringle and some of the other guys they rotate in the front court. I just can't. It's going to be I hope it's a great game. I just don't see how they beat North Carolina inside tonight.
Well, that's an interesting game. And can North Carolina score enough points to keep up? If Alabama's on one of their rolls where they score 100+, I mean, that's a real question in the analysis of the game tonight. I know how good North Carolina is, but as good as they are, can they keep up if Alabama's really high? Is their defense enough to slow them down to keep them from scoring 100+ points?
You want to guess the over-under?
Oh, I'm going to say it's got to be pushing 200. I'm going to say 190-ish.
173.5
Really?
On the Bet Saracen app.
If it is, North Carolina will win. It has to go, I think, 10 points over that probably for Bama to win that game.
It will be a track meet tonight, but I tend to agree with you. The only way that Bama has a chance to beat these guys tonight is to outscore them. I don't think it's going to be enough, but we'll see. And I mentioned Bet Saracen. Sounds like Charlie Baker, the NCAA president, is trying to ban prop bets or college athletes across markets. What I found interesting, Neil Atkinson, who works for Bet Saracen, kind of laid it out a little bit because I think there's pros and cons to both sides. It's never an issue that is just 100% right or 100% wrong. He pointed out that he believes there's going to be more improper betting and illegal betting on the player prop side of things because people are still going to search these out, but they won't be legal. They won't be on Bet Saracen. They won't be on other apps.
There's been forever illegal gambling.
Yes, but if you knock it out completely, that would lead to an uptick in that.
Listen, you're never going to completely eliminate most problems, but
That's
at
true.
least, even with vaccines, we still have mumps, measles, and rubella running around society from time to time. So, eliminating it from the legal sports books and having those places agree not to take that action will eliminate a lot of the harassment Charlie Baker's trying to get rid of for the student athletes.
We mentioned the NIL stuff this past segment or 2 segments ago about Caitlyn Clark leading all NCAA tournament participants, not just the women, but the men as well. You've got several SEC players, including Angel Reese, Flau'jae Johnson, Dillingham, who's now exited the NCAA tournament. So some SEC players, that's expected. What I wanted to bring up is, what do you think the list looks like in football? How many SEC players, if you put a top 10 list together in football, would the SEC have 5 of the top 10? I know Ohio State and probably USC have something to say about that, but I would think the SEC would probably have 4 or 5 of the top 10 moneymakers in the college football side of NIL.
You'd think it'd line up with everything else that they're in, the top of the rankings in. It would be odd if they didn't. But, a lot of people are trying to catch up with, when you say, trying to catch up with the Joneses, the SEC they are the Joneses, particularly the Georgias and the Alabamas and the Tennessees of this conference. So that's who they're trying to catch up to.
And that is your SEC update this morning, brought to you by our friends at Burton Pools and Spas.
Burton Pools and Spas they were at my house yesterday, readying parts of my backyard for the coming spring. And I'll be honest, we had an issue last year with a new liner that was put in our pool. And I got to give Burton Pools and Spas all the credit in the world. They quickly stepped up, worked with the manufacturer to fully take care of the issue. And they were out there yesterday. And then we waited till this spring to correct the problem before we opened this year for the pool. So, I mean, that's the kind of service and attention to detail you can expect from Burton Pools and Spas. Whether you're in Northwest Arkansas or the River Valley, Burton's is nearby, and they've been doing this for more than 40 years. They are, they're the real deal, and you can count on them, and you can trust them to be there if they build your pool for you. Go by the showroom in Springdale. They've got 10 stunning in-ground pool installations, so if you were like me several years ago trying to figure out what would fit and what would work and what's affordable in your backyard, they've got 10 different in-ground pools to look at, 8 different fiberglass models that you can choose from, and they got discounts right now up to $12,000. So they'll make it easy for you to visualize your own backyard oasis before making any commitments and help you get ready for a splash around in the pool this summer. That's Burton Pools and Spas, again, Springdale and in Fort Smith. Go to burtonpools.com or call them for an appointment and set up your time to visit with one of their experts. 479-756-5511. That's 479-756-5511 for Burton Pools and Spas.
So before we talk NCAA tournament, talk about this baseball game, I do want to update y'all. I brought this up about an hour ago. The loser of our fantasy football league is currently in the midst of his punishment, a Greyhound bus ride from Nashville, Tennessee to San Antonio, Texas, which is going to take more than 24 hours. There was a riot apparently at the Nashville Greyhound stop, Tommy, that led to a big altercation between the employee, the driver, and several of the passengers for the bus showing up way too late. So in the midst of all that, he's endured several occurrences already that has him scared and has him never wanting to take a Greyhound bus again.
I would find new friends if I was him.
Oh, you gotta, it's being a part of the league, Tommy, and you've got different things that you do with your buddies that's not fantasy related, but if you don't follow through on what you say you do, then you're out of that said friend group or you're out of that said thing. So it is
mainly, don't pay your bets at the golf course 1 or 2 times and see if you're in the group the next time.
Exactly. That's
exactly what you're talking about here.
It's a debt that is owed, and he's repaying it, and we are laughing. That's his expense, and his girlfriend's probably going to be hacked off because he's not arriving at the destination when he's supposed to for their
that's part of the punishment too.
Yes, it's the humiliation, not only physically but emotionally too. It's going to be very emotional for teams tonight in the NCAA tournament. I mentioned Alabama and North Carolina. That's the 8:39 game on CBS. I will not make it through that game. I'll be passed out. Illinois against Iowa State, 9:09 on TBS. San Diego State against Connecticut, 6:39 on TBS, and then the start is Clemson and Arizona. I have Iowa State as my sleeper Final Four team. I say sleeper even though it's a 2 seed. They always flounder. They always come up short. This is the year I don't think they do that, and I hope I'm right. I've got 3 of the 4. I saw Derek doesn't have a single Final Four team left in his NCAA
I didn't even get a bracket filled out, and I did that well.
Yeah, and he's got that. Zach, I think, is still in the lead. He wants to make sure that we know that on our hitthatline.com bracket challenge, which you can still sign up for the 16 team before 6 o'clock tonight. So even if you didn't sign up the first time like Tommy, you can still do so on hitthatline.com. Just click on the March Madness tab or just type in hitthatline.com/bracket.
Mine was completely by accident, but I'll have to tell you, it's kind of been liberating to not have to worry about, your bracket. And of course, you only worry about the first day and a half until it's busted. But, it's a little bit, you feel some freedom watching these games without feeling like you've had to have picked a side because of a name you scratched down on the bracket. I've kind of enjoyed it in some ways, not feeling like a loser every time one of these games go the wrong way. Hey, we talked about the eclipse earlier. It's coming up, obviously, April the 8th, and it's going to be a once-in-a-lifetime event in our state. We're going to be in Harrison at Big Creek Trading Company, so come by and see us that morning. You can get mooned and booned. Boone County. So celebrate in Harrison and get mooned and booned during their block party with live music April 5th and 6th in downtown Harrison. They've got a schedule of events for that Friday, Saturday, and getting ready for a big weekend coming up on that Monday. So they got a full list of events starting at 4:30. Explore Harrison Entertainment District opens at 4:30 on Friday, and events all the way through Saturday, including live music. James White's on the schedule. They're going to have National Park Radio, sponsored by Explore Harrison. There's 7:30 on Saturday night. and vendors as well. So get mooned in Boone. It's the Solar Eclipse 2024, brought to you by Explore Harrison. Be at their block party April 5th and 6th in downtown Harrison.
Well, you're going to be at the game tonight featuring your Arkansas Razorbacks, number one team in the country, against the LSU Tigers. Hagen Smith tonight. We will not see LSU's ace till tomorrow night, Holman. So that is something that if Arkansas can get a win tonight, I would not count 100% that they win tomorrow based on how he has played and pitched this season. Nevertheless, that gets going tonight, 6 o'clock, right here on most of these ESPN Arkansas radio stations. And ESPN2. Tomorrow's on the SEC Network 7, and then Saturday is on the SEC Network Plus. So jam-packed weekend full of sports, and we'll be talking about all that tomorrow here on a fast break, fastball, and maybe a little football Friday because, Tommy, they got a scrimmage on Saturday too.
Yep, looking forward to it. So thanks for being here. If you haven't downloaded the Hit That Line Now app, do that now. And follow us anywhere you go.
I'll be back in these chairs tomorrow at 6 a.m. We're looking forward to it.
Hello there, homeowner. Roger Scott for Leaf Guard Gutters of Arkansas. Are you